Retro toys and comics we adore. TV and movies, let's explore. Sunday Night Geekery, it's the place to be. With Marc D, with a C, let your nerd run free. Old school vibes and stories untold. Tune in, tune out, let the magic unfold.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Sunday Night Geekery, I guess, because it'll be the end of the year, best of 2024. So we got one of my best buds on with me, who's sometimes here on Sunday Night Geekery. I wish he was here more often, but yeah, no, work.
I wish so too.
Yeah, I know it's always tough. This is a late show too, so we got Nick Weiser here. So drum roll. I don't have a drum roll, but
it's okay. Well, it can be imaginary, but hello everyone. Well, feels good to be back on. I think it's been a while. I mean, maybe I'm losing count here, but I truly feel like it's at least been several months. There was a time where I'd be like on and off, and then
you'd pop in for a few. Or people pop in. Yeah, always have an open door policy here with my buddies. So yep. So we'll make up for some lost time here. But
it'll be good. It'll be great.
We'll have a huge time here tonight. Yep.
The hugest. By the way, what's up, chat? Thanks for let's have some fun. 2024 has been interesting, especially since like Trump, I dodged a lot of bullets. Unfortunately, I got hit by a few, but we'll go over the better parts of it all.
We will. Yep. And so let's catch up with everyone in the chat, because we don't want to enjoy the chat. Ignore the chat, right? As our buddies are out there. So Tim is out there, and he says, "Yeah, the Giants lost again, thankfully, because it's they got to preserve those draft picks. The Yankees and Mets will be one more game this year than them at this point. Yeah, it's been if you're a New York Giants fan, it's been slim pickings. The Jets won today though, but we got the Buffalo Bills. They're a New York team too, right? Everyone forgets about them because they're up near Canadian land. But the New Yorkers, we can root for Buffalo now. Yep. And Nick is in there early with the huge and hail to Claude Salling, the great maker Andy Masterson, who's if you're not following Andy on Twitter as well, make sure to follow Andy so you can catch all those amazing creations on Twitter. Do I have Andy's Twitter handle? Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, because I got my handy dandy list here. So make sure you follow Andy on the Twitters, because always some great stuff that he's creating. The Sound Alert Spot is here. Hail to the Sound Alert Spot. The Gap After Dark. Hail to Gap. And JPRPH1 is here. Great to see you. Happy Sunday night. So yeah, people will be rolling in. If everyone spread that word out here, you never know with these algorithms and messaging, what gets out. Or I guess on Twitter X, you're not supposed to put links in the chats anymore, I guess, or in the they downgrade, I guess, if there's a link in there. Who knows how the algorithm works? But that's, I guess, the latest. You're not supposed to put links in. But so I figured tonight, hey, it's the end of the year. Oh, hey, D-Bud Martin's here. Hail. And D-Bud. So we'll go over the Man of Iron. So we'll go over some of the, I guess we'll do comics and TV and games and music. Maybe we'll do like a top 5 and just spitball. I found a couple articles that'll get us started. But some of these articles, they pick like movies. They pick all these highfalutin movies. It's like, where's the action movies in here? But where's that in here? Yeah, so you don't always get that in some of these. Like they're mentioning some movies. I'm like, what movie? I never heard of this movie. So, but of course, it's the best of times, the worst of times. So, of course, we always want to remember our great friend Clobber Times, who was a friend to everyone here, great mentor. We lost, this summer, which is something I think about him. Think about him all the time. But so yeah, let's play. It's Clobber Times here, because we always want to remember Mike Clave Alonso on this show and every show that we all do.
It's Clobber time!
And here's the other version of that. And then I remember him asking me, he's like, "Hey, buddy, can you?" He always used to call me buddy. He's, "Hey, buddy, can you?" I hate to ask. I really don't want to ask. I mean, I hate to, that's I'm overdoing it, but he would always hate to ask anyone to do anything for him. When a great guy like that, immense, you always like you're like no problem. Like some people I might like my mom sometimes maybe I don't want to help my mom, but this is horrible. I'm joking, guys, but like clobbering times if he, Mike, if he had asked me, no problem, my mom, can you come over and take out all the garbage and cut the hedges and but and he'd always feel guilty. I'm like, come on, I don't mind doing that. That's an easy one. So so I was glad to do those for him that he always played on the show. And a big shout out to Courtney. Happy New Year, Courtney. And she says, "Hi everyone listening, but we'll be away from keyboard. Have a great stream." So thank you, Courtney, and hope you're doing okay tonight. And we'll catch up with you soon whenever you can make it to Sunday Night Geekery. Let's see, we've got Nick. Oh, we should go to the best breakfast cereals that have marshmallows. Yeah, that's for sure.
Mark, really quickly, I finally learned what AFK means today, thanks to you, because he actually said it in full.
Like, you didn't know?
Say that statement, and I just don't ask, and I could always look it up. But I finally heard you say it, and I'm like, oh, that's what that means. Okay,
it doesn't mean I'm an A-fuck.
I've now learned 2 new things today, so that is wild. So cool.
Yeah. Away from keyboard. Yeah. Well, this is the Urban Dictionary. I wonder. Yeah, I had to look that one up too initially when someone first used it on me. I'm like, what? The guy I think was playing Fortnite or something. And it was like AFK. I'm like, someone took you out. What happened? Yep. And hail to the great Joe Dog. Hey, Joe Dog. So let us, I got a New York Times, I'm not a big New York Times reader, but that was one of the few articles I could find that like had a lot of different best ofs.
Yeah.
Let me go to that one. And hopefully Tom. Oh, Daniel Barry's here. Hey, Daniel Barry. A lot of sports highlights this weekend. That's for sure. But hopefully Tom will pop in when we're talking movies. Maybe we could do. What do we do? Like best? How about we do best comic books of 2024 to start with? Because we got 2 comic book people here. I don't know, that's kind of a tough one, but or series, I guess. Yeah, let's see, best comics. They're gonna I'm goggling here. They're probably gonna give me let's see, comic book resources, CBR, which is never good. CGM magazine. Let's see, Comic Book Herald. I'm just clicking on a few. Just see if it always gives you a good starting point. These things here. Let's see. Let me try a couple of these articles and see which one is the least garbaggio. CBR is usually garbaggio, but let's check it out and see. Let's see. What's CGM? Have you heard of CGM online? I don't know.
No, I'm not knowledgeable on that actually.
I don't know what this article is. I'm just checking the pictures are safe for work only. Yep.
I know what my top books of the year are, like in my head. Like I could spit them out like that. So
like boom boom.
Yep. Like boom 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 boom. I could cover all the grounds too, whether it's in the internet sphere, the big 2, outside of the big 2. I've got the grounds covered. But let's see what these guys have to say.
Yeah, but let's see what these guys.
I'm curious to see where they stand.
And Know if I've read these or not. So 5 is Monstrous.
Okay.
Your Lou and Sana Takada. I know how to say that name, but I can't.
Sana Takada.
Takada. Yeah, thank you. I have not read this, so I have no idea. I don't know if you know anything about that. So I'm going to pass. Ultimate X-Men.
Okay,
Marvel
so
Comics.
I haven't read this, but I'm going to go off what my buddy Wes from Thinking Critical has told me, and also my buddy Gray from Wakizashi's Tea House. And this also seems to be not just these 2, but it seems like to be a common consensus. This book, from what it seems, from what I've been hearing from these guys, and if you're in the chat, you've read this, you please tell me if you feel like you disagree. But apparently this does not read like an X-Men comic one bit. Apparently it reads like a regular like manga. And Yeah, which is like, and apparently they don't even mention the name X-Men until the first like 4 or 5 issues. Once again, this I'm going off of guys who
I've
read
read it. Yeah.
new comics all the time. And apparently it's about, I think, what, 8 or 9 issues, I don't know, or somewhere around there. And apparently, like, it's just not an X-Men book at all.
Wow.
It's not an
Is
X-Men
that
book.
Sailor
And
Moon? It
look at
looks like Sailor
if
Moon. Yeah.
if you look at the art, it looks like a manga. It looks like that.
Yeah.
And I could see why Wes and was it Doc? Yeah, Wes and Doc, why they said that. And I was just like, I believe them. And they've never, even if Wes and I have disagreed on things we liked and disliked, he's never been inaccurate in his depiction and detailing of things. And so
Yeah, he knows it. He's read. He's described.
Oh, he knows the medium very well.
Yeah,
very well.
I mean, his art's not bad. I mean, I haven't read any of this. I'm not a big manga fan to begin with, so I'm not opposed to like a manga take on the X-Men if it's an alternate universe. But it sounds like
how's it?
I guess that's, but it's not X-Men. I guess is that supposed to be Storm? I get or no, or they made her white.
I from like I said, all I've been told is that the term is not even used till over a quarter of the issues that are in. So it makes me think, so is this like all new characters? I don't know. But I've been told it's, I guess, it seemed like, West Side was fine if you're looking at a brand new story that may or may not be related to the X-Men. Basically, as an X-Men story, you're like, what the hell is going on here? Especially if you're a year in. I think he finally dropped out of reading this.
He dropped out. Okay,
this is going on too long, and I don't know what's going on here with a story that's basically X-Men in name only.
Yeah. That's what they're saying here in this this article too. The guy or gal, whoever wrote this, says one of their favorite comics of 2024. But it's just crazy, and it's the Ultimate Universe, which a couple of elements I do like, but I thought the Ultimate Fantastic Four was some of the worst stuff I had read, and of course they used
from
that
the original Ultimate Universe or the new one.
Well, the first Ultimate, the old one from 20 years ago. When was that? 2015. Yeah, I mean, I haven't read the new stuff, but I know that they made Reed Richards evil in that Ultimates universe at at the end, and that's what Fan Four Stick was based on, basically.
Yes.
That Ultimate. But the Ultimates did have some good elements that I did like, and plus it was always its own, when it was its own separate thing, and they weren't trying to bring Miles Morales into the the universe of the characters. It's like, well, you got this version of Spider-Man who's kind of it's back in high school, the Bendis run, which was a great run, I thought, but you still had a separate universe, so it's not like the original Spidey is gone. You've got this version of Spidey, and it was kind of fun to see him as a young kid again, because Spider-Man's only in high school for the first 10 issues or 12 issues of ASM in the original run, I think. That means out of high school in the city
between
college.
12 and 20. Yeah,
but it's not that many.
It's somewhere between 12 and 20, and it's a fair amount. It's a fair amount for what they were doing at the time. And before it's a very good transition, because you do have a period of time to grow with him on his final way out through high school.
Yeah, but it's not like he's in high school for like 10 years of the comic.
No,
that's what I mean. Where and then it's like a lot of people love Spider-Man as a as a teenager, and that's kind of what the the Ultimate line went for. And I did like some of the
original Ultimate line from Bendis.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, Bendis
and Bagley. No,
yeah,
I rag on Bendis a lot, and I still will. But before every character starts sounding and talking the same way, like he's had them do in the last, I don't know, 15, 17 years. Once upon a time, he actually did write characters, and a few of those runs, one of them was Daredevil, shocking of all the stories. Yeah. His original run on Jessica Jones, titled Alias at the time, and Ultimate Spider-Man, which he did with Mark Bagley at the time. Yeah, I was at the time, I'll admit, maybe because I was a more impressionable teenager, I was more open to multiverses before I became a lot more jaded about them in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But at the time, I enjoyed it, and I thought it was a pretty cool comic. And I didn't really. It also helped too that it didn't affect whatever was going on in ASM. So I respected that idea. That okay, hey, this is a Spider-Man book that is its own thing, not trying to change what's going on in the main universe. It's basically being its own thing. So to me, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, even if I were somehow to not enjoy it, at least it's staying in its own lane in the very literal sense.
Yeah. Now, of course, the travesty of trying to bring Miles Morales into the universe, into the 616 universe, and we're not getting on too off on a. We could talk about it for an hour about this, but my view is they're trying to bring him into the 616 permanently, and have him replace
Miles?
Spider-Man.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
it's
There's
because
no
they don't
doubt
want
they
to
want.
pay the Ditko estate.
Yeah. So and all the toys, like everything you can see, is all set up for Miles. It's basically all Miles all the time when you go to the toy store. It's always 3-packs with Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and everyone else. So it's it's just I just hate the multiverse. That's just been so overdone. But this title has been pretty good. Ultimate Spider-Man. Have you read this? I mean, and again, keeping it separate, like as a what if or Elseworlds. Have you read any of the the new Ultimate Spider-Man run?
I decided I was going to wait about a year before I gave this a look because
Yep.
I have felt so burned to the
Yep.
ground with modern Marvel. So once again, this is where I'm going to talk about this based on what I hear from Wes and Doc. Now, I notice obviously this is Marco Cato's art. I do notice that by default. I do like him as an artist. One of my biggest issues is that I like Jonathan Hickman. Before I stopped reading Modern Marvel, I liked him on indie books, but I don't really like him on Marvel stuff. And I feel like one of my biggest issues with Hickman on Marvel stuff is this is what I actually have read from Hickman. His style is very slow on Marvel. Like, he might as well be called the Flash villain, the Turtle. If you ever heard the Turtle, the Flash villain, he's basically the Turtle of Marvel comics. And I thought to myself, okay, good artist, guy who I like on indies, but not in big two. I'm going to wait at least 6 months and see what I hear. And I'll say this, in my comic shop, my local shop, this is probably one of the best selling books ever. I'm sorry, not like ever, but like currently going on as far as current monthly books. This is one of the best selling books. Now
I mean, the first issue I know sold gangbusters.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was. I think it was one of the top selling books of the year.
Yeah,
which isn't much these days. It's a low bar.
No,
and Joe Dog is also done reading Modern Marvel. Yep.
Now, what I've heard from Wes, it seems a lot of my problems I've had with Bendis before have carried over. And by that, I mean, apparently the comic, according to Wes and Doc, has good art, except the story's really slow. And apparently he has been Spider-Man in combat, in fights, for not even a quarter of the 12 issues that are out. So 12
Yeah,
issues.
there's not a lot. Yeah, there's not a lot of.
Have you read it?
I think I've read up to I think issue 8 or 9. I think I'm behind a couple months. And of course, a lot of these things, they do start off really good in terms of, if it's a slow burn, like you don't mind as much, right? But then you want to get to the action. I'm a huge supporter of Spider-Girl, the Mayday Parker, which is kind of a take on this.
Good.
Yeah, that's one of my all-time favorite runs with DeFalco. And I met him at the Comic-Con. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh, I miss Spider-Girl. Like, yeah, so many people love that run because and I hate to say simpler times, but it was back to a time we didn't have all these multiverses and crazy tangential storylines. You got in, you told your story, and you got out, and it didn't have a coherent universe. And you love that idea of Spider-Man and MJ having a baby, and of course she's gonna have superpowers, right? So Peter Parker in that universe has lost a leg in a fight with the Green Goblin, so he's got to retire, which that makes sense, right? He's an older Spider-Man, but he still comes out once in a while to kick ass or help May when needed. And it's just a great take on her character. She's not, she's Mayday Parker, but she's not a Mary Sue. Even though her mom isn't, Mary Jane, she's, got her ups and downs and all kinds of problems in life. So, there's a great character arc on her in her comic. And yeah, if you haven't read that run, I always tell people go read that or find
It's
that
good.
What If issue.
It's
Yeah,
good.
you've read it, right? Yeah. Hey, Elgabus is here and he subbed. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Also here to say hi. Hope
Nice.
you have a great stream. Oh, and as well, Max
Huge.
Redstone. Huge. Thank you for dropping a like, Max. Much appreciated. Yep. So great to see you guys. Yep.
Here's what drives me crazy. It's my fears sounds like they've basically been confirmed. Another slow story. And it's like, yeah, okay, great. You have Peter back with MJ, but the problem is the caveat, alternate universe, they have kids. Okay, great. But another slow story where he's barely been Spider-Man in the suit. It's a year in. It's now been a year, and you're telling me less than a quarter of the issue he's been in the suit, and then even less than that he's actually had fights. It's a Spider-Man comic. It's a Spider-Man comic that I don't have the patience for that, and it sounds like they're just dragging this out, whatever they're trying to do, until they figure out what they want to do with the Maker. Because I've heard that apparently they're like the Maker's like the guy who revived the Ultimate Universe, and apparently that's apparently
well, they took away the superpowers, and that's the weakest part of this whole storyline. Where so Tony Stark, gives him his powers back basically. So it's I love the setup and I love the art is great, and I like the idea of it, and it's a separate universe too. Which I don't mind if the universes don't bleed over and we're going to tell like this what if, but it would have been cool. They never say like, a 12-issue limited series is maybe something they should have done. But,
it's still going.
Super chat here. It's still going. No, but I'm saying that's why, they should do something like this as like a 12-issue limited, Elseworld series. And Elglebus says, you're all criminally undersubbed. I appreciate that. Thank you. And we've got RT and Z with a super chat. Awesome. Happy New Year. And Chuck Norris can simply walk into Mordor. Yes, he can. That's for sure. So thank you for that. And of course, whenever someone gives us a super chat here, we gotta play something good. So let's start off with
And Callie in your place, would you?
Probably not. What about you?
What about me?
Why don't you go?
You are expendable.
And you're not?
No, I'm not. I am not expendable. I'm not stupid. And I'm not going.
Superman!
There's only one thing I want to say to you, Commodore.
You're a dumbass.
Well, it just so happens that your friend here is only mostly dead. There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead.
So thank you, RT and Z. Yep. Playing some of our favorite clips here. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Yep. And the Phantom is in the house. Hey, Phantom Outsider. Happy New Year. But I think I would put there's not a ton of great new, series. Of course, if you look at Marvel, like or DC, I would say this is maybe one of the few things I would actually put up there as something new from Marvel or DC that would make my top list. I would say, and I would say it's worth reading, but we'll see how it goes if they goes tanks or if they actually do something interesting. But the whole Tony Stark line and taking away the powers, and that's just always just so hokey to me. It's like they can't have had him just be Spider-Man like they did in the was it MC, what they call the MC2 line, I guess, or whatever they called that universe with Spider-Girl.
Yeah, it was MC2.
He just got old.
Yeah,
MC2, right?
MC.
Yeah,
you are correct on that.
Yeah. So just do that. Like they always have to have some crazy game going on. But I know Donnie, if Donnie was here, Donnie would love to pick this as number one probably. Amy Jo Johnson, who was the Pink Ranger, right, Don? If Donnie's in the house.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Have
Now,
you
can she
read
even
this? Or?
write? I haven't read it. I read it a few years ago under Boom Studios, which is like it's still under Boom when Ryan Parrott was writing it. And I'll tell you, man, and it wasn't like his run went downhill. I stopped reading it. I just kind of like just lost track. But while I was reading it up to a point where I accidentally stopped, it was good. It was really good. Now, it wasn't for me like something I put in my top 10, but was it worth the read and a gateway for me to get into Power Rangers comics? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good IP. It's it's quote unquote just for kids, but it's sounds like Donnie said in his very biased opinion how good this is, but I love Amy Jo Johnson. Yep. So and you
I just
love the
wonder if she
nostalgia of
can
it.
write because I've never heard of
Yeah.
her being a writer per se. Like at
No, I
least with
haven't
Ryan
either.
Parrott, the dude is straight up proven. Like he actually writes comics. He's in the medium, and the dude killed it. I'm telling you, man. Like,
Yeah.
look, he did 2 runs. One was called Mighty Morphin, and the other was called Power Rangers. Literally 2
This
separate
art is
comics.
phenomenal here.
And they're kind of like kind of like the way when John Byrne did Superman and Action Comics. Parrott was doing that kind of equivalent with, hey, I'm gonna write one book called Power Rangers, they're Mighty Morphin. 2 different books, same continuity, different stories, but eventually they weave together type of deal. I would look into trades for it because seriously, it was really damn good.
It was really good. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll definitely check that out then. Yep. So now they're picking number 1 is Witchblade. Have you been reading Witchblade by Top Cow, the reboot?
No, however, I know this is created by Mark Silvestri, obviously a legendary artist. Now, my buddies Ironcaster and Andrew, the editor from Rippaverse, he's huge on this series too. We actually talked about this is the first female-led series that actually had its own TV show. And it's a lot of people forgot that.
Yeah.
And then in the 90s, it was 1 season. Both those guys, Andrew and Caster, love this comic. They really like it.
Okay.
And I've heard good things about Marjorie Bennett. I've heard good things about her as a writer, and I believe it. Apparently, she's really into comics, and I know Caster and Andrew, they like this comic a lot. So it's once again, it's not something I would put in my list only because I haven't read it, but I have heard genuinely good things about it.
Good stuff about it. Yep. Cool. So I've read a few Witchblade comics in my time, but they definitely wouldn't be on my list. So let's see what we've got from let's go to CBR, which is quote usually Carbaggio. Let's see CBR's top 100 comics of. Let's just do 10 to 1, of course. Yeah, so we're not going to do the whole. Let's see the final cut here, because we did when we did this for Clobbering Times, the top 100 artists. It was Heart Attack City each week when the artists. It was just such an affront to the. And you probably were there for some of that or listened to some of that where they were some amazing artists at number 50. So they're giving putting Absolute Batman at number 9.
So basically, because there's a lot of hype around it,
hype on Absolute Batman.
Yeah, that is why that is happening. So of course that is.
Have you read that or I haven't
read
that.
I've not read it. Now, once again, I'm basically being a broken record here. Wes has read it, and I've watched his reviews on it. He says it's retarded, but it's a good time. He say it's one of those things where you gotta turn off your brain and just kind of go with it. Which, if that's the case, that's great. And it is selling fine at my shop. Now, this is what I'm experiencing at my shop. It's selling
a lot of hype for the first
fine.
issue.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype for the first issue, but it kind of already petered off quickly. Now, the people who've stuck around beyond issue 1, they're saying it's good. It's once again, it's a fun book, so it's good to hear that it's actually fun. It's just one of those things where you definitely gotta suspend your disbelief with it, because apparently there's a lot of things about it that don't make sense. But Apparently,
Yeah,
that's
like
the intention.
look at the bat logo. They
Oh,
kept Batman.
hate
What
it.
what
I
happened to
hate
that?
it so much. And the
It's not a
shoulder
logo.
pads. And
Yeah,
apparently, and once again, even though I'm burnt on multiverses, at least they did all this for its own universe, so I can at least give it
yeah,
some leeway in that regard. I'll give it that leeway because it's like, okay, well, at least they're not doing this to the main continuity where they've
yeah.
already deconstructed him like there's no tomorrow over there.
Yeah, yeah. And let's give a big shout out to RobAltis. Happy New Year, RobAltis. And Maddie's daddy's in the house. He said, still not getting notifications, but we're always here, same bat time, same bat channel. But yeah, I got to get a bat phone to Thor here. But whenever Thor is in the house, we always play this. So here we go.
Oh, that's badass. I love that. Seriously,
Is that
that's
cool?
cool. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's that played it. Let's play it again. So that's
that is
Maddie's daddy
good.
cosplaying as Thor. And I was always joke about. I'm glad I learned to use Adobe Premiere for quote unquote for work. It's like very simple Premiere work, but yeah, it came out good. So yeah, hail to Maddie's daddy. Great to have you here to join us. Yep, and you've got the link, so you can always pop in. You know where to find us, right? You can. You don't need to use Heimdall to find out where we are here. So yeah, so this one I've got a few issues of these. I haven't read it. Of Batman. Yep. Oh, Batman. We're Batman's here. We got to play. We got to play. We got to play the Batman here.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out.
Speaking of Batmobiles, we'll probably do like top 5 toys too. And I got Corgi. I finally got the Corgi Batmobile from the
nice.
They redid it, so I got that, which was freaking awesome. Well, let's go through these quick if we haven't read. I don't Karagurbachi. I have not read this. I have no idea if you know anything about this.
I don't personally, but it's a manga. My guess is if it's listed under here, it's probably got a market where it's doing well. Because you gotta remember with lists like these from websites like CBR, it's not always about quality, and that doesn't mean it's about the sales. So, and for all you know, maybe it is actually good, but they're doing it based on what garners hype and interest.
Yeah. Now I know Transformers Ironcaster.
Oh, this is great.
A big fan of. Yeah.
This I actually am reading monthly. It is now 15 issues in, 16 I think comes out this week. It has been awesome. I love this series, and I've never read a Transformers comic in my life prior to getting on board this series.
Wow.
So, and I've liked what Dan Johnson's written before. He's mainly known for indie stuff. He's done 1 or 2 things for the big 2, but he's known mainly for indies. Like he did a really cool one called Extremity, and then he did another one called Murder Falcon, and they did a really cool wrestling miniseries called Dual Power Bomb, and they're all great. He's one of those guys where his tropes are always in his indie works. But his story is always different enough they can, tell what they are on their own 2 feet. But yeah, he definitely likes to make sure his signature stuff is there, which is fine because it does work.
Yeah.
I'll say that it's one of those things where you know what you're gonna get, but you'll definitely get a little bit of a tweak with every different indie from this. And the fact that he's on this major IP of a story, and he's also, what's notable about this, not only is the quality maintained over a year end, but Dan Johnson is historically known for only doing anywhere between 5 to 8 issues of a story, and then that's it. Even with his own indie works, he doesn't go beyond. He's not a guy who hangs around for a while. Even with his own
Thor's here.
Greetings,
Steve.
Hey, what's up?
Just thought I would drop by just for a couple of minutes. I haven't been in the comics. I haven't been in the comic scene since Klobby closed his shop years ago. So I don't really have anything insightful to add. But yeah,
but you could you're no, well, you know your comics. Yep. So yeah,
I
we're gonna
know
we'll go. You can help us with the movies maybe, or best kids stories of the year of 2024.
Well,
But, let me say hi to Gen X is here. So hail to Gen X. He says, "JT, get good." Great to see you. And who just popped in? Lenrod popped in. Yo, hey Lenrod. Happy New Year, everyone.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually the reason why I popped in. Mostly was to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Steve.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. But please go on, and
You're
if
welcome.
I'll hang out for a little bit if I have any,
Yeah.
you know. Um, I'm kind
If
of
you
like I'm kind of like Mike in a way. I've got the old school 411, like the really cool, you know.
Monsters volume. My favorite thing is Monsters Volume 2. I don't know anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna assume. Let's see, Spy X Family.
It looks like a young, like a kid's book type of stuff. It doesn't
Kids
look
book,
more
yeah.
like a comic, which is fine if that's the case. But
Yeah.
I look at that, it doesn't even look like a young adult story, because sometimes they throw in like the young adult stories on these types of websites.
Yeah.
But this doesn't even look like young adult art, because I can recognize young adult art. It's mostly very similar. There's not much of a variation. I got kids, and they have their comics I like. Like my oldest, she likes Dogman, and my younger one likes Cat Kid Comic Club. She also
Yeah.
likes Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So they got those that they're into, and they love those books. Where like they're pumped. And by the way, they're pumped for the Dogman movie that later this month. They're
Oh
pumped.
yeah, Dog.
Oh, they are
all over that.
ready.
And that's Scholastic, isn't it? That's Scholastic. And hail to Dad
Yeah,
Man.
and it sells in the millions. That's the thing. And they're
Right in the millions.
they're
Yeah.
like 15, 20 buck books, and they sell in the millions.
Through Scholastic, right? Yeah, that's
Through
yeah.
Scholastic. They're doing very well. And they're like somewhere between 12 and 15 books still holding on. So I guess it has nothing to do with the price or a numbering
Yep.
issue. It's just they caught the right
Kids love it.
audience, and it latched on, and they're sticking around. And look, kids actually do read.
They
And
dig it.
yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Dad Man. Whenever Dad Man's in the house, he says Cocaine Bear was the best of 2024.
Ah! Never that way.
God damn it, Mark. Jeez.
Never gets old. Yep.
That's funny.
Scaring Dad Man in Fortnite. Okay, Spy X Family. I have no idea what that is. Translating to another manga book, I guess. So Mary Tyler Moore Hawk. Oh my God, that looks scary. What the hell is this? Let's just
now that looks like a young adult story.
That's a young adult
that
story.
looks like look at that art. Like that looks like
Yeah.
one of those like art styles that it's for disenfranchised romantic teenagers who were in one day relationship, and all of a sudden their heart was broken forever, and so they wrote Mary Tyler Moore Hawk as the response.
Yeah. Oh my God. The Power Fantasy. Kieran Gillen, Casper Wingard. Sorry. I do not know anything about that. If you do, chime in. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. That's another young adult, maybe? Or I have no idea what that is. And of course, they pick Ultimate Spider-Man as number 1, which we just talked about. Okay. So let's try the last comic book list, and we'll have you give your I think only one of them. Transformers was the only one that made that
one that I'm actually reading. Yeah.
The
one that I'm actually reading. That's from these two lists so far.
Yeah. All right. So we've got Judge Dredd, A Better World. Oh, this is number 50. Oh wait, we get to the top. Do they have 50 comics? I'm scrolling through really fast here, but 40. Let's see if I can get to. Let's just do the top 5. Okay, Ultimate Spider. We'll go fast. Ultimate Spider-Man's number 35. Let's see. Fantastic Four. Was this the?
That's the Ryan
Alex
North
Ross
story. Yeah, where Alex Ross is doing the covers.
Yep. So volume 4.
God, I hate it because Alex Ross's covers are really
so awesome.
good.
And
but
then the art sucks inside.
And then you go look inside. It's like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
I looked at some pages. That's it. I never
They're not good.
bought it, but I looked at the pages. And I'm like, this is what you have for supporting Alex Ross's cover? Come on, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through these. I'll just yell out if you see. No.
Stop right there.
Doom.
I remember once again, sorry, chat, for being a broken record. Wes mentioned this as his tied for favorite one shot of the year.
Okay.
I didn't read it, but I remember he mentioned he really liked this.
I've got it and haven't read it yet. I got so much going on, but I should read this. Yeah, with that high, and of course I try to pick up everything FF. So that's the Hitman one.
Which is shocking. And Wes is not afraid of criticizing Hickman. So if he's saying it's actually good, and Hickman wrote it, and it's big too, okay, cool.
Yep. It's a one-off. Yeah, it's a one-off. Yep.
That's probably why it could be even readable, just because Hickman wrote it.
One
so
issue.
Like, okay, well, I got one issue to make a statement. I better make it good while I'm here.
Let's see. This is like an evil Winnie the Pooh, I guess. Let's see. Oh God, that's that. So that's definitely not for kids. Yep. I guess it's a scary Winnie the Pooh. Just going through these. Yep. Let's see what they have for their top 5. Looks like a scholastic
so
book
far.
to me.
It looks like it's been all young adult, if not
Young adult,
manga / stories are probably being sent to Aftershock and Image and Dark Horse that are from their DEI hires. Outside of the occasional outlier like Ultimate Spider-Man or something.
So let's see. Is that Read with the Bears? Yeah. Let's see. Rare flavors. Let's see. Young Hag.
Wow, that art is horrendous. And even for children's level, that's horrendous. I've seen good art and children's.
Laura's not buying that for Maddie.
That is horrible for any age.
Thank you. Like that, if my daughter's a read some cock, I want her to feel like, hey, I'm reading something I'm enjoying, and for it to look okay. This looks like it's not worth any self-respect.
It looks like they don't respect the readers. So
they're
not going to pay, a good artist to do a good job.
Well, Steve, you already contributed greatly. You already did.
Well, thank you.
Or the artist is just insulting the readers. Or, if my 5-year-old daughter came home with it, said, "Daddy, look at this art I did," I'd be like, "Well, that's pretty awesome, Nicole." But not as a 25-year-old. That's like, you need to practice.
Phantom Outsider hits on a great point. Sorry to mention Mark, but he wrote so many best superhero books. Wow, and this is kind of something I had to kind of maybe make it a shameless plug / correlate to why when I did my albums at 24, I kept it at top 10. Because to me, it's like, it's good that you're well versed in a particular medium. That's great. But when you're doing like a top 50 or beyond list, it's kind of just like everyone gets a place. And that to me is like, doesn't mean anything when that happens. That's why when I did my albums list, I kept it to, even though I've heard around 50 albums, I kept it to 10 with 5 honorable mentions because I want it to mean something. Like to me, if I just did all 50, it's like, well, then I just wrote basically everything I listened to gets a place. And to me, it's like, no. That's not how this works. You got to actually make your list mean something. When you do this whole thing where everyone gets a spot, what's the point? Really, what's the point of doing the list? And this really feels like this list is that.
Yep.
That's my correlation, that how this connects, because they're just saying, oh, well, this existed and it's got the style of what we want to see in books, so therefore it exists, and we got also, this is probably their way of doing the DEI thing, in the sense of we got to include as many books as possible because we can't leave all these books that 5 people read.
Yeah. Hey, Professor Artus's participation trophies.
Hello.
Happy New Professor R2. Yep. So many best superhero books. Wow. Yeah, actually, none of these are none of these are superhero books, which is interesting too. And so it's that scholastic domination.
Maybe if I can't believe I'm gonna be defending this article, but I think that's also a telling sign of how bad Marvel and DC are when even these lists won't even list Marvel and DC books. Let that tell you something.
Yeah. And of course, this is a book. What's this called? This is Tokyo These Days by Taiyo Matsumoto. So yeah, some more manga on the list. Yep. Blurry. I have no idea what that is. That looks scary. I mean, maybe some of these are good. I haven't read them. I have no idea, but there's no.
The art. The job of the artist is to get you to pick up the magazine, the book,
Yep,
and look at it. And if the cover art doesn't make you want to do that, they've completely failed and shouldn't get paid.
Here's what I don't get, Steve. When I look at these covers, so the store that I go to, they've been there for 30 years. They order from as many publishers as possible. And I even go through my kids' Scholastic magazines. I never seen any of these, because I think, okay, I can at least say I pay attention to what's going out there, even in the kids' market, because I want to know what my kids are reading, because in case they come across the wrong things. It's amazing how so many wrong things slip through the cracks nowadays so effortlessly. I want to know what my kids are reading. And a lot of these I've never even heard of. And I'm not saying as a way to delegitimize them, but I'm just thinking, okay, who's reading these things? Because I keep track of data. I keep track of lists and numbers and where things are charting, at least what's being talked about. Even if I don't like it, I'm trying to at least be aware of, what's being talked about. But this list feels like it's the participation trophy list of, if you're a DEI hire and made a comic, let's just put you out there. Who cares if 5 people read your book? But you got to be on the list. We can't leave any of our friends out because they'll be mad if we don't include them.
It's fear of political backlash.
Yeah, this list screams the most fear of political backlash ever. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but man, CBR's looks like a comic list compared to this. And that was not even a great list there. But that sure looks like one compared to this. That looks like National Treasure compared to this.
This cover looks decent. I guess. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it came from a comic.
Looks like a
cover,
comic.
I'll say that.
Yeah. No idea what that is, but
the classic comic book covers that we all think of, like my number one of all time is Spider-Man 151, the one where he's going through a sewer. Mm-hmm. And he's coming at the camera, and he says, "Flooding this place won't help you, mister. Only one of us is coming out." It was pre-internet print version of clickbait, but it got you interested. That
was the whole gist of it. It was supposed to do it. That cover was supposed to be clickbait, and unlike clickbait, it actually had what it was promoting on the front cover. Because a lot of times clickbait lures you in, but it ends up being the opposite of what it advertises. This said, hey, you want to get into this. And then you got into it, and boy, did you get what you were advertised on the cover, and times so much more, like this cover.
Yeah, this is.
Why would you want to pick this comic book up? It's Garbaggio Spider-Man. It's old. It's probably from the 70s. I mean, they didn't have the internet back then. I mean, come on. Probably just,
I mean,
use that. No, don't.
From a basic art theory point of view, you see how it has the big X pointing to him. And then the red jumps out at you against the cool colors, which are recessive colors, and then just the dynamic pose, of course the great costume. I mean, in my opinion, Spider-Man has the best costume design of all.
I agree.
He was the first one that didn't really have the trunks, but instead he had a belt, and I think they kind of stole this for the later Superman. Where he's got the belt but not the trunk, and then the spider web that starts at the face and continues down the sides of the arms, although not the complete, all wrapper all the way around the arms. But when I saw this as a little boy, I was just like, I gotta get this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
back to any of the things that Mark just showed, or even like everyone can imagine Fantastic Four #1, right? I mean, the original.
Yeah.
61.
Or do you want to buy this?
You look at this cover. Here's the thing, and I can understand when like there's a different generation of things and say it's not for me, but at least can say, okay, I could see why someone else would pick this up. I don't see that with this. At least with Dogman, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I could see those covers and what goes on the stories and say, okay, I can see why this has an audience.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what, speaking, I hate it when people say speaking as, speaking as.
Yeah, makes nothing that, yeah, I've never understood that either, Steve.
but in this case, speaking as an
Gross,
artist,
I'm skipping that.
one of the things that, if you're in art, not fine art, but any sort of commercial art, illustration, etc., your job is to bring people to the boat, and that would not, I'm sure there are people that would look at this cover and go, hey, what's this all about? But I can't imagine being one of them.
There's nothing about these covers that like I can look at, okay, even if this doesn't grab me, I can see why it grabs on this and someone else. I don't see these covers grabbing onto anyone. I mean anyone.
Yeah, I mean
anyone.
Just from an artistic point of view, look how flat this is. I mean, it looks
crazy.
like cut out of construction paper, and that Spidey one had so much depth,
and
detail.
Yeah, detail.
Yeah.
Now, look what they say about this comic here. They say Merrily Tyler Mohawk, and of course, I haven't read it. It's my favorite comic of 2024. Shortlist for Work in Progress Mount Rushmore Vital Reads this decade. Baker's combination of DIY adventures comics, like a fanzine riffing on Alan Moore and Company's Tom Strong, which is a classic work, and magazine columns from a not so far-flung future where physical media has been purged. Well, I could see that happening. Where's all its ambition so earnestly that I couldn't help but fall in love. Captures one of the underlying similarities of all my Mount Rushmore contenders this decade. Naked raw ambition and bravery to say, this is what comics can be in my hands. It's the kind of comic that makes me want to make comics, read comics, live comics, breathe comics. But that cover doesn't want. I mean, that's an amazing description. If you're mentioning,
the description as a pitch sounds like okay,
great.
That sounds like someone who's excited to make a comic. But then you look at the
cover
art.
Oh my god!
Art,
what the hell is that? Mickey Mouse?
This is a discrepancy in the copy. The guy who wrote the copy did his job. He made it sound good. The person,
I was gonna say, did the writer have like a lawyer write out their statement? Because seriously, like the pitch, when you hear the pitch, it sounds way better than what you're seeing on the cover.
Right.
Yeah.
That one half of the team did their job, the other half did not.
Yeah.
I'll give credit where it's due, even to something that looks terrible like this. Whoever wrote this statement out, whoever it was a lawyer or even the actual writer herself.
I think it's the writer of the article.
We'll never know. But whoever wrote this out did really good as far as the writing out. It sounds good on paper. But you look at this cover, like, what's there to be intrigued by? What is there to be intrigued by? I guarantee you, if I showed this to either of my kids, 11 and 9, they would not be the slightest bit interested. And I wouldn't try to say, hey, this looks like crap. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I would just put it in front of them, let them make up their own mind and opinion.
Yeah.
And then if I'm wrong, I'll wrong. But I'm 99.9% sure they're going to look at this cover and just be like, Dad, where's the new Dogman at?
The artist was supposed to do visually what the writer did, with words. It's the artist's job. The artist's job is like I said, is to grab you, smack you around a little bit, and say, "Hey, you gotta read this." And instead, they left it up to the copywriter. It's like in a movie where somebody gives you all the exposition verbally, and you're like you're like insulted. It's like, why didn't you guys, just write a good movie instead of having somebody say, oh, I see you're back from the, the Crusades where you did this, So you have, this is a classic example of the writer and the artist are supposed to both pull you into reading it, and only one of them did their job, and you can't rely on. And we've probably all read comics where the art was so good, but the writing was really bad, or conversely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And conversely, I mean, Klobby and I used to talk about Frank Springer and Frank Robbins' artwork. And even though we both liked the, oh man, I can't, not the All-Star Squadron, the Marvel version of, it's killing me, with the Wizard.
Trying to remember what
The Invaders.
The Invaders. Oh yeah, the Invaders. Yep.
The Invaders was well written. There was one where the female, just a regular person, got shot, and the only thing they could do was transfuse some blood from Steve Rogers, and the power goes out while they're doing this operation back in the 40s, and he holds up his shield to reflect the light from the Human Torch so the doctor can see and everything. And then the blood transfusion gives her super speed. And the stuff was well written, but the art was so horrible.
Well, this is I looked up the book, and here's a page from the book. That's 2 color, or I guess is that 3? Well, I guess that's.
I don't remember. I only remember.
We consider 2 colors, I guess, but yeah, that's the art from the book. So maybe the story is good. I'm gonna actually go read this sucker just because I'm intrigued. But and Andy, of course, is Invaders and Phantom. Yep, Invaders. Yep.
Thanks, guys.
But that's art from that book. So why don't we get away from? Let's Nick give us. He said he could give us 5 of his favorite comics off the top of his head pretty quickly. So Transformers is one of them.
I'm gonna be a cheater here. All right, I'm gonna be a cheater just because I'm gonna drag out conversation here. So I'm gonna lay out 10 books, and if people want honorable mentions, I got them.
Okay.
I'm gonna lay out 10 books, and they're from mainstream publishers, internet publishers, yada yada. Conan the Barbarian, freaking awesome.
I knew that'd be on the list.
17 issues in. It is great. I love it. There's just a great event that just wrapped up called Battle of the Blackstone, where it involved characters like Solomon Kane and Brissa and John Conrad and Carolyn. That's 1. 2, Saturday Morning Adventures TMNT. If you're a fan of the 80s cartoon of TMNT, this comic was 111% made for you. It nails the dialogue, the lingo, the fun, the ridiculousness of the 80s. A lot of the funny, 80s kind of contradictions. The Turtles were supposed to come out at night because they're ninjas, but in the 80s, no one really actually thought about it. And they would show up in fights during the daytime on the 80s cartoon. They kind of make self-aware jokes like that, but it's really fun and action-packed. Well, this is the regular TMNT, not the Saturday Morning Adventures one. There is a distinction. It has to be called Saturday Morning Adventures TMNT. Yeah. It is great. It's by Eric Burnham, and it's 19 issues. And yes.
Yeah.
19 issues. Now, this is a one-shot here called the April Special from April O'Neil. Which
doesn't look like April O'Neil one-shot's good too. Movie.
That what?
That doesn't look like April O'Neil from the new movie.
Oh, yeah, right. I know.
That didn't make your best of the list, yeah.
No, and she is not taking over the book. She's not leading the team. She's only in select issues. She's only had a one-shot, which I'll say her one-shot was good even too. Saturday Morning Adventures TMNT has been awesome. I love this comic, and it's the only current TMNT comic that I'm reading. And I almost feel like I got to send a trade out to Tom of the first volume, but dude, it's so freaking good.
Now, is it geared towards kids, adults?
Oh, kids can read this.
Kids can read
adults
this.
can read. It's one of those series. It's a great all ages series. You could be a kid or an adult and enjoy this. Adults enjoy it for the nostalgia, but kids will embrace it because it's fun. It's funny. So it really is a rare best of both worlds with this comic. I love what is going on with Saturday Morning Adventures. It's the best TMNT comic on the market right now. Not even close. Like there's no argument. Another one I'm enjoying from Mark Miller and Juan Ramirez is Nightclub 2, which is the sequel to Nightclub. And it is separate Nightclub, 2 words. It's separate. It's
Goggle work.
All right, good. You said goggle, like Johnny Lawrence did.
Johnny Lawrence.
This series, it takes place not only after the first series, but after the events of Miller World's first crossover, aka Big Game. And the characters are, if you look, they are youthful. They're in like almost like Spider-Man, luchador-like masks, and they're vampires.
Wow.
And they
are
they are very fun, very conflicted like teenagers are. And holy crap, have they created a whole swarm of problems. They have 2 issues left to go in this miniseries, 4 issues, but I'm counting it as far as 2024 because more of the issues for the series came out in 2024. So that's why. So unless something goes horrifically wrong for the last 2 issues, which I don't think it will,
it's been pretty good. Okay.
Oh, it's been great.
It's been awesome. Great.
It has been awesome. I'm trying to think here. What was my 4th one? Oh, Red Coat from Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch. This is a Image series. Technically, it's under their Ghost Machine imprint. And Brian Hitch is delivering some all-timer artwork, and their character of Simon Pure is great. This is basically what if Booster Gold was a historian who was immortal and dressed like a red coat. Oh, dude, it is so much fun.
So is he's actually
there's a lot of historical figures. Oh, yes, he's an actual British redcoat. And there's a lot of great historical figures involved. I'm not going to spoil their names. But this series is so fun and adventurous. The dialogue gets a little bit heavy at times. But for me, I don't care because the story has maintained its interest. And it's 8 issues in. It finished its first arc within 2024 realms. The 1 through 7. And the last issue was an absolute heartbreaker. And then once again,
Mel Gibson's wasn't able to kill this guy. He's able to live forever.
This guy lives forever, and he's dealing with the absolute aftermath and worst cost of living forever. It has not been fun for this guy. You know, you think, oh, what could go wrong? Well, he's dealing with a boatload of problems because he is immortal, and it's not so great when you're stuck being with what is a gift and a curse at the same time.
Yeah, which Highlander touches on too. Yeah, do you want to see those you love grow old? And the gift in the first Highlander movie, and there is no Highlander 2, was that he gets to grow old and die and have kids, right? So that's the original prize, and that movie should have been the end of the Highlander series. I mean, the TV show was good in ways. He'd maybe do a prequel, but well, don't get me started on Highlander 2, which does not exist. But so this is a top Nick Weiser pick. I'll check this out. Yep.
Top 10. Oh yeah. Another one.
There are still
this
good
was
comics
a crowdfunder. This was initially a crowdfunder because it has now been broken up into 3 single issues. But Florida Man versus Hogzilla from Mike Barron. This
Hogzilla
was hilarious. So freaking hilarious. So yeah,
I didn't pick this one up. I did get the original Florida Man run, but Florida Man versus Hogzilla.
Yeah, it's been broken up into 3 single issues, but I bought it as a crowdfunder, and this story is so retarded. And Gary Duba is such a great character because even though he's this guy who lives a really chaotic life, he's still the type of guy at the end of the day who would have your back when the chips are down and you can't get up. He's still the guy who's still there for you, even though he's got this really chaotic life that's all over the place. and it works. And apparently, and I haven't looked into it, but apparently Mike has taken influence from real life Florida Man events and brought a little bit of that into this series. So yeah, huge recommend. Now here's a funny part too. When I read the first one, I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was great. I even mentioned that in my review.
Enjoyed it.
I didn't hide my true feelings. I thought it was good, but this sequel is just dramatically better.
Better.
If the first one was 7, maybe even 6.9, this is near an 8. This is near an 8.
Awesome. Yeah.
Mike Barron is a great writer.
Oh, I know. He's phenomenal.
I don't think he doesn't really get his credit.
No, he does not. Oddly, he still doesn't to this day.
Yeah, I remember pre-Crisis Flash, when they made Wally West Flash, written by Mike Barron, and he was the first guy to think up, hey, wait a minute, wouldn't this guy be hungry all the time? He's burning so many calories, right? And with that little thing, he was able to introduce comedy. I'm sorry?
It became a staple on top of it.
It went into the Justice League animated series, where he's always hungry, and it's such a brilliant dual edged thing, because on the one hand they use it for comedy a lot. He'd go up to a hot dog stand and buy them all,
eat all the hot dogs. Yeah.
But it was also a source of danger for him, because let's face it, if Flash never got tired, he could just run it at the speed of, faster than the speed of sound all the time, and nothing could hurt him. But if he starts getting low blood sugar and dizzy, then his enemies can, use that against him, attack him, it puts him in danger. So
is that why I'm hungry all the time too?
I'm sorry?
Is that why I'm hungry all the time too and eating a lot? Just kidding.
Well,
I've got the powers of the reverse, the reverse Flash. Who came up with the name Reverse Flash? Yeah. Fastest man alive. Yeah.
Now, Mike Barron has also written other good comics this year that have come out. Like his Bronze Star was good too, which he did with Pat Broderick. That was good. And he also did his Nexus Scourge with Kelsey Shannon, which is good. And he also did his Gooding the Polymath for Eric July's Rippaverse, which is good too. But I was like, I don't want to cheat. So I came down to one Mike Barron book. So I chose this one as far as my favorite Barron.
Yeah, Klobby was a big fan of the Badger.
Oh yeah. Oh God, I wish Klobby is alive to hear to this day, because Mike said he's finally gonna get resuming on the Badger. Klobby's a big fan of the Badger, so Klobby would love. That's probably something Klobby would probably actually check out if for that to see the live day. I could see Klobby shit, I actually got to read that.
100%. He there's no question. He totally would have.
Oh yeah,
I got to get this. I got to get this cover. I think we all would have gotten this cover.
A Toxic cover.
This version. Yeah, this version. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. So whether you are liking what I'm showing or even disliking, I think no one can deny that everything I have shown has looked like a comic at the very minimum. Yep. So I got 5 more, and I feel like
all right, let's roll, and let's say hi to Polly's Minion.
Yeah, hello.
Hail Apollomy.
Hopefully this stream is Truck Dog approved.
I hope so too.
What's
Ghost of the Badlands is the next one. Take your time, by the way. Ghost of the Badlands. This is by Razor Fist and drawn by George Alexopoulos. I'm really bummed that this will not have a follow-up. I downright hate that there's not, but I get it. Things happen. It didn't work out, because I thought this is a really great Western. Now, I bought this is once again something that you can now buy on Amazon in a cheaper, smaller format. I bought it when it was a crowdfunder at Indiegogo, and I bought it in a soft cover that was like a huge magazine, like Savage Sword of Conan. It was black and white. And it's great because his main character doesn't really have a name. And on top of it, his main character only speaks in biblical speak.
Wow.
So he doesn't have an official name, and he only speaks in biblical nature. And it is a really moving, light on dialogue too. But every time the ghost speaks, he has really effective biblical language. I loved this comic. George's art, I thought, I was originally kind of skeptical because I know him and affiliate him for his political computer cartoon artwork he does. But he ended up really shining on this book. And obviously you could see a few of the pages, like to the right. There's that one right there.
I'm
I'm
putting
like,
the
oh,
link in
hey,
now for everyone.
he
Yep.
actually
On
nailed
Amazon.
this. He actually freaking got this down, and I love this. And there's a little bit of I can tell now he's always been very open about his influence of like Solomon Kane. There's definitely some of that influence there. I could, as someone who read Solomon Kane, I could definitely tell there's a bit of that influence there. So I really enjoyed reading this. And I'm happy people are still finding out about it and reading it because it was such a fun comic. And there's a lot of pages, but yet it doesn't feel that long of a story. Which
you can buy it on Amazon for $18. It looks like hardcover $27. So I guess that is it on sale? Oh yeah, 10% off. So it's $26. Yeah, $26. Yep. And it's a lot of pages too, right? It's
it's probably like 100 pages. It's great.
Yes, it's a big book. Yep.
And once again, I'm so disappointed that there won't be a follow-up because there is, I guess you could say there's a little bit of like a message of sorts, but to me it's a really moving, positive, I guess you could say, message. And I think that's great because you do learn when people make bad decisions and they learn from their mistakes and what they could do to redeem those. And I to me is like proper messaging because that's something that can kind of apply to everybody. It's more universal speaking. Everyone's always had a thing that they kind of messed up in that they want to improve upon in their own life, and that could apply whether it's with a relationship, whether it's with their job, or maybe a hobby they want to get better at. I love that type of idea, and you can apply that to anything. So
that's the whole raison d'etre to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's his whole. You can boil it all down to what Nick just said.
And let's say hi to Type 40 Doctor Who says happy 25 to our friends here, comrades in geekery. I like that. I like that. I might have to steal that, comrades in geekery. Don't trademark that on me.
That'd be a good name for a show.
Yeah. And our thoughts still with Clobby, of course. Yeah, thank you. Who'd always supported us and loved classic Doctor Who and Blake 7, of course. So let's play. Damn, I got so many Blake 7 clips because we were reviewing Blake 7, and God damn it, we didn't get to finish reviewing Blake 7 with Clobbering Times, and God, he knew his Blake 7 better than anyone. I mean, there's no one knew Blake 7 better than Mike. And let's see, do I have where's my Blake 7? Were they under here? I think I just had a whole Blake 7. It was under. Sorry, when I vamp trying to find my. Oh, it's under Watch Party. It's under Watch Party. Yeah.
But, I actually, while you're looking, there it is. I just found out that the local public broadcasting station that Clobby watched was the first one in the country to start running Blake 7, Doctor Who, and some of these other British, sci-fi. And because Louisiana Public Broadcasting was used as a successful pledge drive series, that other stations around the country started playing it as well. So Clobby was probably earlier than everybody else in even getting to watch it. So that to me is kind of cool.
Yeah, so let's play it here. We got a couple Blake 7 clips here.
I got this shocking pain right behind the eyes.
Have you considered amputation?
Just on the writing in that show is so great. Here's another one.
I thought we were tired before.
I'll tell you this, though. It beats work.
Yeah.
Beats work, yep. But that was, of course, one of Mike's favorite shows. And I remember he made me watch it. It was just joking. Here's another funny clip.
The word.
We always joke about, I want him to watch Stargirl, and I joke like, you made me watch Blake 7. He's like, I didn't make you watch it. I'm not responsible, but of course I loved, instantly loved the show. And I'd ask him a couple of questions. I'm always bad with like the name of the episode and like a couple of,
he's good with that stuff. He was so good with that stuff.
Yeah, so I'd be like, well, the episode had these creatures, and I really didn't like him that much, and they were really cheesy, cheesy outfits, and right away he's like, oh, that was actually episode, that was the web, that was episode 5. It was in 1978, and it was
Written by
XYZ, written by so and so, and then. And then he'd start giving me like quotes from the episode, he'd be like, I'm reading now because I can't do it. He was like, this would be Mike. He's like, Blake, thank you. Why? Avon, automatic reaction. I'm as surprised as you are. He would start quoting the damn episode to me. He's like, but I'm not really good at it. I don't have a really good memory for this stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Mike could remember quotes from anything. One side of him that you guys didn't see that much was he was a huge MASH fan. The TV show MASH.
He had mentioned it. I remember him mentioning that.
He didn't like Hawkeye though, right? He told me.
Because he got
later
got political. Yeah, and he turned it from a comedy into a preachy show, because he loved during the first season they had to ration heating fuel because it was so cold, and so somebody in the camp cut off the legs on Henry Blake's desk and stole his drawers. And so Clobby would say, man, come on, guys, to cut off a man's legs and steal his drawers. And he would just quote it, isn't that Frank's bag? I thought you were Frank's bag. So yeah, Clobby could quote everything. Sorry, I seem to turn everything into a Clobby show. Sorry about that.
Well, we all miss him but and then R2 says, let me catch up to the chat here. When I was on the playing the clips, I lost the chat here for a second, but I was introduced to Blake 7 because of Clobby, and just recently bought the Blu-ray. I've got to buy. I didn't get the Blu-ray for Christmas, which was inconceivable, but thankfully I got a gift card, so I'm going to use that gift card to buy that season 1. Yep. And come to a stream with us. We'll all be comrades. Definitely. Yep. Send me the link. I'll be there. Yep. And let's see here. You have an unpublished B7 video Clobby made with us coming to the channel soon. Wow. Well, let us obviously let me know about that, and reach out to me on the Twitters. But because we had made it up to season 3 with Mike. We're doing that each Thursday night. We're doing one episode. I think we're just doing one episode each week, and so we're getting through the series. And I think our last episode, unfortunately, was it season 3, episode 1, or so we had just gotten through that, and we did get through some of my favorite episodes. So there are more great episodes to come, obviously, but god damn it, it's it's a minor thing, to say, in the grand scheme of things, but we want more time with everyone. That's what I'm trying to say too. Not necessarily, I miss doing Blake 7, just miss Mike all the time. And Steve is you knew him for 40 plus years, real life with the guy, so we were only got to know him through the interwebs these last few years. So but yeah, we did I think Power Play was the last episode we did, season 3 and episode 1 and 2, which were some of the best, in my opinion, some of the best episodes. But so we're just starting season 3, so god damn it. But we'd love to see that that video. Yep. But
totally.
yep, I think it's it's time to see that. Yeah, that'd be good, especially with the DVD coming out. I think that'd be a good time to do that. Yep. Yeah, by the end of the episode, Henry had a chair and the desk was completely gone. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And what's Type 40 Doctor Who's YouTube, Joel? Grab the link here and see if I can. If I go on the YouTube side, let me put that. Go to the channel and let's put that channel link. You can always click on someone's name and put their. And I'm subbed to the channel. Let's put Type 40 Doctor Who's channel in the link here. And Nick, why don't you go to what's your next comic that you would?
I was gonna say, do you want me to go over the last four, or do you want to just move on? Because I if you want to move,
Well, just why don't you just say that? Yeah, we'll just say the names real quick. Yeah, so we
Okay.
can move on to the next thing. But
Sure,
just
sure.
like
I was
like
gonna
30
say, I
seconds.
realize
on each
I'm
one.
taking up some time, but
No, this
last
is awesome though.
all right. Flash Gordon, Jeremy Adams, Yaira, number one, Saska's sisters, Transformers, Daniel Warren Johnson, and my number, and I didn't have any of these numbered, by the way, but I do have a number one. That's the only one that's numbered.
Okay.
Yep. You can decide your own order. But my number one was Dean Cain, All American Lawman from Gabe El Taib.
Oh, since that's number one, we'll put that.
Who?
up, yeah.
Who? American Lawman?
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain, like Superman.
Superman.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love that.
This was amazing. This is basically like if an 80s action movie had a fatherly story with a lot of heart to it. It's got all the tropes with the one-liners, getting the lady, being toxic man, but also there's a great like role model father story subplot in there too. It is a complete story, well setting up the stage for more, for whether this will be a limited series, ongoing series, I don't know. But it reads like a complete story. It is like over 100
What's the basic
pages.
premise? Like the quick synopsis.
I think, how do I judge this quickly?
Is he Dean Cain on in the comic?
Yes and no. He's, because in case a lot of you all don't know, his real name is Dean Tanaka.
Yeah, I knew that.
Okay, you know it. He actually goes by Tanaka in this comic, his character. Obviously, he looks like him, but holy crap. I mean, what you see on the cover is what you get. It's definitely, there's some Bond movie influence. There's a little bit of Rambo in there as well. It is such a fun comic.
Is he playing an actor?
Hey, look, that's my thumbnail right there.
Where is it? Where? Which one?
Right up above.
Oh yeah, here
right
we go. We got it. There we go.
me.
Yep.
Yeah, there's my
It's
logo
huge.
right there. Yeah.
Well, let's put this link in the in the chat then. Yep. Of course, everyone's subbed. Better be subbed to you here, but let me put this.
This is my numero uno.
And I don't know how I missed that. Damn it! How did I miss that?
YouTube
I didn't get
probably.
notifications for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I get people telling me that they never get notifications, so it's just like, it is what it is. You roll the punches.
Yeah. But is he playing a spy here in this one? Like as an I've seen like John.
He works for he cooperates with the law enforcement divisions in California, except they kind of like, all right, no, it's kind of like okay, he's not our ideal guy, but he gets the job done and he helps us with things that we can't get done. And he has to go to, I think it was Mexico he has to go to, and he encounters some issues, and it gets wild. It gets really wild.
But he's
really
not playing
fun.
like, it's not like Jean-Claude Van Damme series where he was playing Jean-Claude Van Damme as an actor who's actually really a spy the whole time he's doing the no. This is just straight up action hero. Yeah. Cool.
This is a straight up action hero comic, and it's amazing how much fun this story was. I've read it over and over again, And apparently there's a follow coming late this year. It's a tragedy it's not coming out sooner because I love this comic.
Where did you get it, Nick? All I can find online.
Bigmancomics.com.
Big Man. Okay, cool.
It's a crowdfunding, right? Yep.
No, it was a pre-order. This one was a pre-order. Because
but you're ordering. Oh, so sold out. That's why they just
Well, cover A through I think there's one cover left. I just posted the link in the private chat. I'm actually taking a look right now. It says 116 pages. Looks like cover E and F are left. So those are his last 2 covers. So he did 6 covers. And never mind. Looks like cover. Let's see here. He's got 42 copies left of the unsigned left. So he's got.
So he didn't do this as a. So he didn't do this as a crowdfunding. He just said, "I'm printing these, and whatever sells, kind of.
Well, it seems like he has a set number because he has 42 unsigned copies of cover E left, and then for cover F, because it actually shows the number too of what's left. He has 3 copies left of the signed of cover F. So he has 45 copies left, and then the book is 100% completely sold out.
Oh man,
great!
Wow.
I know you want a copy, Steve, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge Dean Cain fan.
You will love this comic. Oh, it's good, dude. It's seriously, it's a feel good. The best part is it's a feel good comic. It's a really feel good book. And and the fact that I was like, the fact that you got a complete story too, 100+ pages. And Gabe, he's been involved with Marvel and DC for the last 25 years. I'm sure you heard the whole spiel, Steve, on why he left DC when they made John Kent bisexual. He was that guy who kind of put his foot down. And said enough. This was that same guy.
And then people started calling him Nazi and all this other. He got canceled.
Yeah, and the funny part is like I'm like, how's this guy who's Lebanese a Nazi?
Yeah. Well,
Craziness,
Mark knows this, but I met Dean Cain once.
At
a con, and let me tell you something. He is the coolest guy at a con you'll ever meet.
Oh, I believe it.
You know how other people just like scribble a line,
Yeah.
And, like to Nick, whoever. He talks to you. He was like picking up the little kids and playing with them. And the year that I went, it was the con in Salt Lake City, and they were just trying to figure out how to get things going. And so for the talent, they had basically a guy with a Polaroid. So I took a Polaroid with him, and he wrote, because I was lifting in those days. He wrote, "Steve, those guns are illegal, Dean Cain." And he also for so Claude, you guys all know Claude.
Oh yeah.
You might call them minimus. He has a friend who was the voice of both Shaggy and Scooby for years, and he was working on a movie, and he did a video call with Claude, or he recorded it. It was recording, "Hey Claude, this is so and so," and then all of a sudden Dean Cain walks behind him and goes, "Hey, is that Claude Parrish you're talking to? Hey Claude, Dean Cain."
No way.
Yeah. You can contact Claude. He's still got that. But it was it was before they started doing all that. Was it Telegram or whatever, where you would pay people. So Dean Cain is like the nicest guy ever. So like I don't care what movie he's in, I'll go buy it. I'll go watch it.
I hear he's awesome one to work with, because I had the Saska sisters, the twins, as guests on my Friday show last, I think it was April or May. And they did a movie. They directed a movie that he starred in, and they said he was such a blast to work with. Like, he is such a fun guy, like from beginning to end. Apparently, he's just nonstop energy. Like, and I'm just thinking, wow, it's cool. It doesn't matter whether he's on the set of a movie or at a convention or on stream. Apparently, he's just always a blast to be around, no matter where he's at and what type of format he's at. He's just awesome to be around. So,
yeah,
he sounds like that guy who everyone wants to hang out with in the room.
Yeah, I mean, he was, back in the day, he was, kind of known for his looks.
Yeah, of course,
Superman, right?
I could tell I could definitely tell he was one of those guys.
Yeah, he wasn't like conceited, but Mark, no, not because of Superman. Like when they were casting Superman, it was down to him and Kevin, the guy that played Hercules, Kevin Sorbo. Yeah, and he had only done Dean Cain had only done one guest spot on like Beverly Hills 90210 or one of those type shows. And the producer, Deborah Joy Levine, said she went in the office and there was like hundreds and hundreds of women, like young, beautiful women there. And she said, "What are we casting for today? Is this like a bikini commercial or something?" No, everybody heard that Dean Cain was coming in to read, but he also, he had to make a choice because he was offered a deal as a writer by Warner Brothers. At the same time, he got the offer to play Superman. And then he played college football.
Yes, I heard about that. I've heard about the college football. Go on.
It was like Stanford or someplace. And he still holds a record for, I don't know, charging or whatever. I don't know. But
Let me say hi to Oliver Belamonte. He says, "Greetings to all in attendance."
Hello.
Happy New Year, Oliver. Yep.
Hail, Oliver. So anyway, that name Oliver, by the way, is making a comeback. My daughter knows two boys named Oliver and two girls named Olivia. But anyway,
isn't it funny how that happens? Like things come and go in waves. Like, oh, it's done, and all of a sudden some comes back around, has a resurgence. Carry on, Steve. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
Oh, that's okay. I kind of went with a big detour here, but I've just became such a big Dean Cain fan because he treats all of his fans so well. Because I've met people. Carl Urban, he treats you great if you're a woman. If you're a man, just move along. And there are a lot of other, the guy that played David.
What if you're both?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Well, these days, what do you identify as? Yeah. You guys, and I Mark knows this, but the guy who played David Lopan in Big Trouble in Little China, you've seen that guy was such a jerk,
Oh,
and
man.
I even spoke to him in Mandarin. Of course, I think his main language is Cantonese, but he was just like, "You gonna buy something?" So, but Dean
I want your
Cain,
money.
yeah, but Dean Cain, that dude was awesome. He was really, really nice. So if you ever get a chance to meet him at a con or something, I highly recommend it. He treats his fans really well, and he values them. So that was quite a detour, but sorry. Anyway,
no,
that's a good detour.
It's a very good detour because it reminded me of something he said. I think it was on, God, was it? Oh, FNT when he got casted for the part of Superman. Apparently, his brother gave him crap for it for a year and called him Sushi Man for the entire first year.
Oh no,
that was yeah. But people
my son just came home from. I've got to get the front door. I'll be right back.
All right, go ahead. Well, Steve and I got this.
Yeah, we totally.
We got this. Yeah, so he's called Sushi Man by his own brother for a first year.
Well, I think his brother told him that people were calling him that because, the funny thing is I would not look at this guy and think that he's Japanese.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I still don't believe it. I also don't believe.
Well, there's. So I watched the Lois and Clark the old show on Blu-ray with the commentary.
Yeah.
And there's the first scene where he's shirtless. He just stepped out of the shower. He's got a towel around his waist, and he answers the door. And the director says, "Dean, did you shave your chest just for this role? You didn't have to do that." He said, "Nope, don't have to. Japanese. Don't have any chest hair."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
yeah. I remember so I was like, so what was it like, being able to be the guy that that made the moves on Terry Hatcher? It's just like it was as great as you can imagine. I was like, wow.
It's funny.
It's like he knows. He's like, this is every guy's dream, and I'm living it type of situation.
when he was cast as Superman slash Clark Kent, and they were working on casting Lois Lane. They hadn't cast her yet, and so he says in the DVD commentary that he said, "Oh, what a terrible job! I had to kiss girl after girl after girl," and he said, "But I will say, Terry Hatcher was the best kisser."
Yeah, he's been very vocal about that. Apparently he's still friends with her to this day, which is cool to know. Like, hey, just because he had his issues with the CW, not everyone in Hollywood is like, dehumanized. Apparently he's friends with Terry Hatcher. Apparently he's even friends with Tom Welling as well, which is like, oh, that's cool that he still has his colleagues there. So it's good to know people are still awesome with him.
I think even people who are rabid anti-Republicans like Rosie O'Donnell still like him. He's just that kind of guy.
Him. He's contagious.
Yeah, he's Terry Hatcher is, she's firmly on the left.
And, of course.
And Dean's firmly on the right, but they do cons together. Actually, he just a couple of years ago got her going to cons. He was like, "Hey, you got to come do this."
I interrupted you. Sorry, but I got to play that again. You were talking about how he was on a roll. I apologize, but you were talking about how firm Terry Hatcher was.
And by the way,
we were talking about how we could hijack your channel and split the profits.
Well, you can't see the. Are you on your phone? I guess you can't see the famous Seinfeld. Watch this now. Okay, ready, Steve? Watch your cell phone.
And by the way, they're real and they're spectacular.
Have you ever seen that episode of Seinfeld?
You toxic man. You're a very toxic man, Mark. I feel like
so
were you watching Bad Santa too much?
Maybe, you should have me on Toxic Tuesday, maybe on Tuesday night.
I think you'd be a great fit. You want to do some assisting with the channel? That I think we should have you on. It'd be a great time. Yeah.
But that's one of the all-time great Seinfeld episodes. What's the last line?
Do you remember when she was the unnamed transporter operator that
she was on Next Generation? Yes.
Yeah, Riker hit on her. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we're driving back from the Giants game in the 90s when that was on, and we had a black and white TV in the car at Riggs so we could watch like pre-game, post-game, and then my cousin were like, let's put on the Adventures of Superman. He's like, I can never miss Terry Hatcher when she's on TV.
Yep.
I'm like,
the thing is that she was actually a really good actress too.
Yeah, no, she's great. Yeah,
she did great.
She was on with Dean Cain on Supergirl too, as well. Until he got blacklisted, he was. She was playing. I can't remember what character. I think he was playing Jor-El, and she was playing. Terry Hatcher was playing Supergirl. I can't remember what characters they were playing, but they were on that horrible Supergirl show. But they were on at least. Yeah, yep.
And then he got canceled. By the party of tolerance and love.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't say. Well, what a shock.
Didn't mean to get political.
It's unthinkable.
Yeah.
Who would do such a thing?
And the thing is, he is such a nice guy. Like, even if he disagrees with people about politics, he's very respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
the way it should be.
He said, I remember he said word for word on FNT, Rob Reiner and I don't agree on anything, and he would work with him in a heartbeat on a movie. And I thought, that's really stand up of him, because Rob Reiner is absolutely psychotic, but obviously he's been involved in some really fantastic movies that I'm not gonna deny. Dare I say, even some that are timeless.
Well, some of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, that's how essential Rob Reiner is, and he's just like, I'd work with him, and that's cool that he has that aspect to him. I love that about him, and the fact that he actually is good to, he's not just great, because some people, they kind of reduce their standards when someone has something more catered towards their, I guess you could say, social and or political leanings. No, the dude's really just genuinely good on his own. It just happens to be a side thing about him that, I just happen to be these things too. So the dude was in a good show. and he's a really good guy, and he also happens to be extra bass like all of us, which is like really a cherry on top if you think about it. It's a cherry on top, and that's great. And I definitely hope to come across talking to the man one day. What I think it will happen. I think one day there'll be a crossover of the ages, and it'll be glorious.
so,
I
yeah.
think Planet Earth will know about it.
Nick, if you got to drive for 2 hours or 3 hours to go to a con where he is, I highly recommend doing it. He's just he gives you a little time. You know, like he doesn't rush you through. You know, he's very respectful, and you know, to your comment about Rob Reiner, the thing about Dean Cain is when everyone else is losing their heads, he's always the adult in the room. You know,
Yeah,
he never. Right. He never says, "Oh, you freaking," you know. I cleaned it up for you, Mark. I said "freaking."
Hey, language.
Yeah, he's not. He's not. Oh, you freaking moron. He's like, well, you know, I have a different point of view, and that's what mine is. And when other people, you know, engage in name calling and throwing around, you know, obscenities, he stays the adult in the room, is respectful and calm, and you know, sticks to the facts and doesn't say, you know, like. I remember what God.
Let me just say hi to JT Kirk. He says, "Hail, go Lions."
To the great JT. There's somebody who was in political office, and one time a reporter asked him why his son was qualified to be an executive on a foreign oil company, and instead of answering the question, the politician in question called the guy fat and said, "I could do more push-ups than you." But Dean Cain never did stuff like that. He always says, well, you know, I believe that, you know, guns are the last defense against, you know, a tyrannical government or whatever. He gives his position and doesn't, you know, lower himself, you know, like guys like I would, you know, you big jerk.
Oh, Phantom here is Phantom's now. He jogged my bad memory, my Garbaggio memory. But Terry Hatcher was Monel's mom. And Kevin Sorbo was Monel's dad, and Cain was Supergirl's adopted Earth dad. That's right.
Right.
I remember. Yeah, now that jogged my memory. Yep.
I always call Phantom the Watcher. He knows all.
Yeah, he knows all. Yep. And when you said that, I'm like, yeah, that's 100% right. 100% right. Now I remember it. Kind of wanted to erase that. Supergirl, talk about a show going totally off the end of you know, wokeism with their political messaging. And then they had Linda Carter as the president of Earth, who actually was an alien from another planet. So she was forced out of office because she was not a natural born U.S. citizen, and they had this big diatribe, you know, because all against you know, immigration, yada yada, how horrible, you know, things were going to be, and it's like, but you don't make your point by having an illegal shape-shifting alien become president of the United States. Because in the Constitution, it says you have to be a natural born citizen, which actually hasn't been clearly defined. We won't go down that rabbit hole, but I'm like, that's not a good example. So yeah, they went nuts. Yep. And Phantom says, yes, who invented liquid soap and why? You know, which can Steve name that movie? I mean, you know, you're pretty good with your movie quotes, but any idea what that movie is from?
Who invented liquid soap and why?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't think this is the movie I've seen.
Thoughts raced through his mind. Did she really want him? What had he done to deserve this bounty? Does God exist? Who invented liquid soap and why? I'll give you more of the quote here.
Is this a Rob Reiner film? Like
it is a Rob Reiner film.
Is it This is Spinal Tap?
It's not This is Spinal Tap. Nope, we're getting closer though, because it was I
haven't seen all of his films. So, you know, there's that, you know, disclaimer.
How would you like to have a sexual encounter so intense it could conceivably change your political views?
I've never seen the movie.
Oh, you've never seen The Sure Thing?
No.
Yeah, Nick. Nick's a real name. Nick's your buddy.
Before John Cusack went off the deep end, we're doing this movie for Toxic Tuesday someday because we got lines like this.
I was overwhelmed. You're a true artist.
Just let me sleep a while. Regain my strength. 5 minutes. A grace period, if you will.
Please.
That movie is just one of the most underrated gems, and I'd met Daphne and Zwanga, and of course she's probably expecting me to ask her about Spaceballs and not Melrose Place. I'm asking her all about the Sure Thing, and I'm like trying not to come across like a crazy loony nutty nutty fan, but yeah, just the lines in that. And Rob Reiner, yeah, man, I don't agree with him politically, but who cares? He's got some of my favorite movies. I just kind of ignore it. But we got a super chat here. We got to cut. Oh, got it.
Ooh, we got the super chats
Thank
coming
you,
in tonight,
Dead
Mark.
Man.
I like it.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Yep.
Keep them coming,
Hey.
chat, please. Keep them. Don't stop. Let's get Mark drunk on power.
I'll be playing quotes all night. Yep. Let's see. I think this is probably a victim of some of the spell check on the computer. Let's see if you guys. He's on the panel, and is anyone? Let's see. Dracula's epic novel by Matt Wagner and Kelly Jones. Artwork alone is worth it.
I've read it.
I think.
Yes, I have read it.
What book is this?
I know exactly. Sorry, he's talking about Dracula Book 1. I just got around to reading that now, so I wasn't able to get in some rereads to really let it soak in. But I finally just got in my first read of it, and it's freaking awesome. It is called Dracula Book 1. It's based off a series of 4 books that Matt Wagner and Kelly Jones are doing, and it's called Book 1, The Impaler. It was a Kickstarter. However, if you want to buy a more slimmed down paperback version, you can get them at your local comic shop. Book 2 just wrapped up, I think, crowdfunding, and obviously you'll get for Kickstarter, you get the big hardcover, and then the shops get the softback. Book 1 was great. Kelly Jones's art is phenomenal. I originally, way back, I couldn't stand his art because of the way he drew Batman. And then I saw his art with other stuff. And then all of a sudden I started appreciating Kelly Jones's art. Then I fell in love with his art. And then especially when I read his Dead Man, Love After Death with him and Mike Barron. Once again, mentioning Mike Barron here. Phenomenal short story. I mean, it's short in the sense it's like 78 pages, but it's a 1-2 issue thing. Really good story. He is a master at the horror art, and it's great. And Matt Wagner writes this, and Matt Wagner is a great writer. He has a great indie series called The Grendel. He also did some really great stories on The Shadow as well. I can't wait for book 2, The Brides.
And The Demon.
Yes,
The Demon,
yes. This is a powerhouse pairing here. If I hadn't caught, I wish I had read this sooner so I could once again maybe properly rank it in my top 10. I probably would have knocked 1 or 2 books out. If at the best I could say it deserves a huge honorable mention. The only issue that's preventing from being my top 10 is not getting more reads, because one of my rules, I need to get several reads to see if it still holds up, not just I'm in the shock of it all with one read. I need to see if it has lasting momentum. But Dracula, though, I can tell will have that. I can't wait to reread this comic. It's toxic.
When did this come out? When did this come
out? It was.
Is it this year? Only this year?
Stores in October.
Okay, so it's this year. Okay, yep, 2024. Yep,
dude, it's
it
very
great.
toxic. I'd say now, if I had to rank most toxic comics, I'd say it's number 1 or number 2. The only book it's competing with is Conan.
Very, very good to hear. I'm adding this to the list. I got a lot of reading to do now, but let's play. We got to play a video clip for that super chat.
Good. I'm glad I could be an influence on you tonight with these.
Thank you. No, that's great. Well, let's see. Here we go. We did enough Sure Thing. How about this?
Black Tube, Barada, Nikto.
It's a trap!
A book?
That's right. When I was your age, television was called books.
Fun storming the castle.
Another great Rob Reiner movie.
Goodbye. True love is the greatest thing in the world. Except for a nice MLT, a mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich when the mutton is nice and lean and the tomatoes are ripe. This is so perky. I love that.
Thank you, the Dead Man. Much appreciated. Yep.
Great Rob Reiner movie. That by the way, that clip with Mandy Patinkin where he's reacting to Mad Max, it was shot on a different day because Mandy Patinkin had to leave the room because Billy Crystal kept cracking him up so much. And they also had to replace Cary Elwes in some spots with a dummy because he was supposed to be mostly dead and he couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, couldn't handle it, right? Yep.
Yeah, it was
doesn't surprise me. Yep, doesn't surprise me. Yep.
Only part of the movie that wasn't scripted. They just said to Billy Crystal, go at it, And to this day, he said when he's eating at a restaurant, people come up to him and say, "Is it lean?"
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, right? Yeah, I would try that too.
Yeah, gentlemen, I am going to bow out and let you guys do that voodoo that you do so well.
Oh, that's a quote from a movie too.
Yes, it was a song, and then it was also a quote.
All the Tom Hanks movie, right? The what was that called? Am I getting my movies mixed up?
The
Thing You Do.
The movie that I'm thinking of is a very toxic movie.
Oh,
a very toxic movie.
A very toxic movie.
Let me give you another hint. You will only be risking your lives while I will be risking an almost certain nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Now go do that voodoo that you do so well.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, Nick.
Kidding me.
Neither one of you guys?
I'm not getting it. I know I've heard that line, but I'm not remembering them. I was thinking of
you've both seen it.
Different. Now Steve is definitely leaving now after we can't get this. What?
It was
all right. What's the
toxic movies of all time? You couldn't play.
With Robert Downey Jr.
Nope. Go back further. Phantom Outsider is probably typing it.
Yeah, it's probably typing. I'm not scrolling down in the chat, so I don't. It's not.
All right. I
I'll
surrender.
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I knew.
I actually don't remember those lines from it. Wow. Lines I remember. Those aren't the ones. Wow.
It was Harvey Korman when he was, when he had the mugs, pugs, thieves, murderers, Indian agents, Mexican bandits, mugs, pugs, thugs, and Methodists. And he was getting them to whip up the number 7 where they, go through the town to destroy it. And he gave them, that was his inspirational speech was, you will only be risking your lives while I will be risking an almost certain nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Nick, I thought if anybody would know that quote, it would be Mr. Toxic himself. But
fortunately, I don't remember everything as much as I'd love to. And I try. Trust me when I say I try.
Yep.
Well, we can't all be Mike.
No. No. Mike would have remembered. Mike he was a master of remembering. It's funny how he would always kind of like try to downplay himself in his memory. I'm like, bullshit, dude. You'll remember the line that's so good, but yet somehow no one will remember it, but you'll remember it. It would be like the line that was spoken in passing, and you'll remember it. It'll be from 1974, and you'll know like it's ingrained into your damn DNA.
Yeah. Right?
There was a little known.
Well, let me say hi to Donnie. Wish Donnie a happy New Year. So hail, Donnie. And you missed. Nick picked one of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comics as being a great comic. So rewind later and catch that up. Yep. And
before I go, there is some kind of unfinished business that maybe one or both of you guys could help me out with. Mark Stephen Chowdhury, and Clobby were going to do a review of the Simonson run of Thor. And then Mark passed away. And then Clobby and I were going to do it because I know that run probably as well as anybody. And then Clobby passed away. So that's something that I would like to not have go undone for both of those guys. So if either one of you are willing and interested in discussing the Simonson run on Thor sometime, it would make me happy because it would be one piece of Clobby business that I could feel is concluded. And the other one, and he and I have talked about this for years. And
Oh,
Mark,
absolutely.
great.
It'll probably be happening later this year on Clobby's Comic Shop. At the very minimum, we could probably at least cover the first 4 issues from it, 4, 5. At the minimum, I can't guarantee we can like go further. I mean, I'd like to go
That's a
further,
big run, yeah.
but it's just with the amount that we want to cover between everyone else in their picks, and of course, the revolving door of guests, and then sometimes the news that comes up. But the very minimum, we're at least get a handful of issues of the Simonson Thor.
That would be great. It would make me feel better that we got something done that he had always, planned. The other piece of business that is Clobby related also is that we had talked about doing a thing on animation, specifically about the 12 principles of animation. And I had collected a bunch of clips, mostly from Justice League, to describe each thing. And we talked about it when I was down there and we had lunch at that place that we went to that night, Mark, Parans.
Parans, right? Yep.
Yeah, and he said, "Yeah, well, let's definitely do that soon." And then, unfortunately, he was gone shortly thereafter. But if either one of you gentlemen want to do something where we talk about animation, and it's specifically how it was used for comic book stuff, you name it, Spider-Man, X-Men, the whole Avengers, the whole 9 yards. That's just something that I would also like to do if possible, just to in honor of Clobby. It was things that we had planned to do that had never been done. So if it's not possible, then I'm sure Mike would understand, and I do too. But if it's possible, I think it would be something nice, and it could be anytime. If you have either one of you has a night with nothing planned. Oh, I need something to do. Oh, wait a minute. What about that? What about that idiot Steve? He was going to do something that. And with that little germ,
stuff like that, Steve, is the stuff you plan and you make happen.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
we're up for it. We're definitely and I'd be in, and I'd like to
you
be
don't
in
say no to stuff like that. It's not if, it's when.
I'll tell my wife no date night those Friday nights.
Well, hopefully she won't call you the fastest man alive again. But a boom. Sorry.
Them is fighting as I was reaching for my Beta Ray Bill.
But you know that Clobby would have made that joke, or he would have at least stopped himself from making that joke. So
I think this is one of the coolest Beta Ray Bills out there.
Dude, that Beta Ray Bill figure is so cool. My goodness. So which series is that from?
That's from
this is so old. I can't remember. Oh, the figure line or the actual. I think it's the 90s.
Figure line.
I think this is the 90s.
Because I had that looks similar to my Silver Surfer one from the 90s.
I think it might have been part of the Surfer.
Was that from the Silver Surfer cartoon series?
It might have been. I'll goggle it.
Okay, we had the same one.
Yeah. And Claude has a really good PVC statue of that they just came out with of Beta Ray Bill.
Great character.
Yeah.
Oh.
Great character, yep. And I didn't get to meet Simonson at Terrificon because he was so damn popular, and I had a bunch of books to sign. They were just random, random books, and a few Thor books. I couldn't find my Beta Ray Bill books, when they're going through stuff trying to find things. And oh, by the way, yeah, Donnie, your new profile pic in honor of the 50th anniversary of Super Sentai looks great. But he was just every time you get online, they cut the line, and not Walt's fault. He's popular. We're like, God damn it! Every time, like, I'll come back in 15 minutes, and nope, line is closed. Line's closed. So, that's a great great run. Yep.
The guy single-handedly took a C stringer Thor, and made it a #1 title.
Oh yeah.
And this was another one that Clobby turned me on to because back in the day when it came out, yes, that long ago, during the actual Bronze Age, he said you should read this Thor. And I saw Beta Ray Bill on the cover, and he's smashing the title, with and it said, "What have they done to Thor?" And I said, "This is gonna suck." What did they do to him?
Yeah, what they did, yeah.
They turned him into Frankenstein just for what we would now call clickbait. And then I read the thing, and I was like, "Wow, this is really good." And he was the first one to sort of tone. First of all, he gave Thor the beard because in the mythology, Thor had a beard.
He always had a beard, yeah.
Always described as red hair and a beard.
Yeah.
And of course, Mjolnir wasn't enchanted. It was just so heavy that no one could lift it, or almost no one could lift it. And when I'm reading this thing, and I'm like, wow, this is such good. Like, he even toned down the when Thor was talking to other people, he toned down the sort of Shakespearean language. And there's a part where he has to call the Avengers Mansion and checks messages, and he's like, "Excuse me, will you guys just give me a second? I need to make a phone call. Thanks." Jarvis, 'tis Thor. Be there any messages for me? And I'm like, "Well, this is great writing."
And hail to the Tetrarch of Apathy. Excuse me. Happy New Year. And he has everyone. I didn't scroll down in my chat, so I didn't cheat on the question. But thank you, everyone who got Blazing Saddles much faster than Nick and I did.
Hey, I at least own it. If I'm wrong on something, I will not hesitate if saying, hey, you know what, I didn't get this one, guys. So it happens.
Yep. Oh, and Colin Farrell won for Penguin in the Golden Globules. So
that's
thank you for that.
He deserved it.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet, but I gotta. And we
I
both
can't
like the
believe
Batman
how much
movie.
I enjoyed that show, and I hate that movie with a passion.
And Steve and I both like the movie.
Conflict.
We're the only two people that like it, I think. And Mike hated that movie.
I like the movie because on the grounds of multiverse, sort of, because Clobby used to say, I can have the Christopher Reeve Superman and the George Reeves Super. I can have all these different versions and like them all, and that's kind of where I put this, because this one definitely, even though it was definitely all the white people in this movie were bad except for Batman and Alfred, and all all the people of color were good. And, they pushed that a little too hard. But definitely the most realistic fight scene of any Batman movie. When he's in the club and all these guys come after him, very realistic. Really, really well. He takes some shots. And yeah, he's got armor and all that kind of stuff. But for me, this is
I like the ending. Well, let me say hi to Brogu. Sorry, but Brogu, Happy New Year, Brogu. Thank you for being here. Down from Louisiana, Baton Rouge area.
Yeah, my old stomping ground, and Clobby's as well. But that's a debate for another time, which we will do respectfully, because I respect your opinion. I respect everybody's opinion on these things.
Love to have it.
So yeah.
Fun.
But with that, I'm going to get out of your hair and let you guys continue that voodoo that you do so well. Now that you know the quote. And thank you.
Well, I don't have much hair to get out of, but yeah, maybe with Nick Weiser.
Nick and I can definitely make up. We can spot you some.
Yeah. Spot me some. Loan me some. Yep.
Lots of love for Mark.
Yep. Well, I'm going to go into a lurking mode, but I will still be listening in. Happy New Year to everyone. Nick, I don't think we've ever been on a stream this long, more than a couple.
No, we haven't. This is freaking awesome. I love it, dude.
You guys are going a long time.
Well, I'm a big fan of Nick. You're a guy that I feel like I know you, even though you wouldn't feel the same way, because I hear your voice a lot more than you hear mine. But Mike talked about you and Mark like brothers.
It's because he was a brother. I'm sure if you and I hung out in the same room, sat down at a pizza, we'd be brothers by the end of the evening.
I'm sure.
From dad to dad, we'd be brothers.
Right? Oh yeah, totally. And By the way, Maddie's favorite show is Spidey.
Yes.
But
there you go.
And she also likes 1966 Spider-Man.
You are doing all the right things with those decisions. That's fantastic. That makes me so happy to hear. Like, I think I just glowed a little bit.
Well, you do what you do. You do what you can, but I mean, she gets really all the credit. And as Mark knows, she's a lot smart. Oh, Mark, really quick brag. She got a total sloth for Christmas. Nobody has taught her how to spell anything except mom, dad, car, cat, dog, love. She almost. I walked in one morning, and on her drawing tablet, she wrote SLOF. So she almost figured out by herself with no help, as a 4-year-old, almost figured out how to spell sloth. So
not bad. That's not too slouchy of her. Wow, pretty good.
Sorry, I had to brag. You guys are dads. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, well, anyway, thanks so much for having me on again. It was great, and I'll be in lurk mode.
All
right. Well, thank you for being here, Steve. Yep.
Thank you for
Happy New Year. And when you leave, you also get your cool scene when you leave here too. You get your cool outro. Nick was impressed by that. Well, thank you, Steve, for being here, and of course, say hi to Maddie. And good stuff. Good stuff.
I think you meant to say 40 years ago.
Well, this was the joke, yeah. So, so Phantom. One of my jokes was like, 42 years ago, a little while ago. I'm like, I was saying one night, I'm like, that wasn't that long ago, the 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
So then someone was posting this on Twitter X. Like, I refuse to believe 1985 was 50 years ago. I'm like, God damn it, that's right, And then I'm like, wait a minute, that math is a little off. So
you want to have your mind blown even more? So okay, so if 1985 was 40 years ago, now take 1985 minus 40, it's 1945.
Right?
Dude, that's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, crazy. Yep.
1945. So we're that like think that. So for the A's, they're thinking, wow, 1945 was already 40 years ago. Here we are saying about 1985, that was already 40 years ago.
Scary.
Dude, it's
scary.
Nuts.
Totally nuts. Yep. Oh god, yep. So let's see where we're catching up in the chat here. Okay.
Sure.
Japanese actors Hiroko Sanada, Tadanobu Asano, and Anna Sawai win Best Performance in a drama TV series Shogun. Yeah, I love. I started watching Shogun. I never finished. That was one of the ones. That was one of our date night shows, and we didn't get to finish it. So I really liked that. Yeah, that'd be in my top 5 for the year. Yep.
I want to watch it. I haven't had a chance. I know our bud 70s really liked it. He championed it endlessly. I know Drinker did. I know Mark Miller did as well. So I'm sure it's great. I just sadly never got around it. I'm sure I will sometime between now and my death.
So, but yeah, it was good setup so far. So, it was, and it's a great story. So let's see if we can go breakout stars of 2024. I just want to flip through this really quick to see if I actually. Oh, do I have to sub? Oh, I don't want to sub to this for $1. Oh, come on, New York Times.
No,
give it to me for free.
Don't sub to the New York Times.
I don't give any money to the New York Times. Yeah, best movies of the. Can I get through? Oh. Nope, I can't. All right, let me find another best movies article of 2024, and we'll do our top 5 movies. Yep. All right, let's see what they got on the lists here for best top 2024 pick. No way, this can't be. This is trolling here. This list, it's not inconceivable. Let's see. Oh, this is top 20. This has got to be just to watch though. Like Night Bitch was horrifically bad. We did that last week. Joker movie.
Oh, Folly a Douche.
666.
Fully a douche.
Yeah, night.
That sounds like
night
a Klobby name. Fully a douche. I feel like if Klobby were alive, he probably would have beaten me to the punch with that name.
Yeah. Oh God, that's Borderlands. Oh, this has got to be. Let me find a real list. This is just the AI, the 6888, which was, yeah, maybe that's a story that should be told about them delivering mail in World War II. But there's been a lot of backlash about that overdoing what they did in that movie. We won't get into that too much, but let's see. We'll do Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't like, and let's see IMDb. Let's see who's got the better list here. Let's start with let's go to the bottom of the list. Let's just do the. I'm gonna go through the top 20 really quick to see if there's anything we know. Young Woman in the Sea. That was Daisy Ridley, Crossing the English Channel. I've not seen it, but maybe that if you're in the mood for a documentary, maybe it's okay. Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Self-Deletion Person. I don't think Nick and I have seen that one. I'm guessing. Shout out if you have. The Fall Guy I thought was decent, but I wouldn't put that in my top 5. Did you see Fall Guy or?
I did not. I didn't see the most amount of movies this year. Now I will say a lot of what I did catch I liked. So I did like. I was in a very fortunate position that I caught a lot of movies that I liked. There's not many that I caught that I didn't. One, of course, I did was Fully a Douche. That was a big one. Then and I didn't hate Beetlejuice as much as ours. I actually quite enjoyed it. No, I had some problems with one of the subplots in it because I feel like you could have taken it out and not affected the movie one bit. So I feel like, I definitely could have gone on a little bit of a diet and trimmed down, but overall I still enjoyed it. But yeah, Fully a Douche is, man, what a.
I started watching it because it was out, streaming. I'm just like, why am I wasting my time? But Fall Guy, Fall Guy is like a watchable popcorn movie. Would I put it in my top like 1,000 movies of all time? No. And I do love the TV series, but there's a lot of nostalgia for that. That helps, but that doesn't have anything to do with the show, unfortunately. But Sing Sing, I don't know anything about that. A theater group alongside other incarcerated men. No, Wicked. I know Nick and I saw that. We've both seen that like 6 times, and we're doing a
I got
special
the
Toxic
popcorn
Tuesday.
bucket. I got the popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
I got the merch. I got the blanket. I got the shirt and the hoodie, and I laminated my physical tickets of Wicked.
And we have it all set for April 1st. We're doing a special Toxic Tuesday on Wicked. I mean, the Broadway show was great, seeing something in live performance. I'll eventually watch it, I guess, with my, better half and maybe kids, but I used to be in musicals as a kid, so I do have an appreciation for them, but I can't judge it, but it's just I can see why that does gravitate towards people being popular of a certain demographic. Yeah, that's gonna be popular. Challengers, Zendaya, she's not in that many movies. That was the one where she blew out her knee, and then there was a menage a trois, I guess, or something going on in there. I'm assuming Nick and I haven't seen that. I've heard it was not a good movie, but that's number 15. All We Imagine Is Light. I have no idea what the heck that's about. Nick and I'm guessing we didn't see that. The Outrun, that's not the Atari video game Outrun, I guess. It's not a remake of Outrun, the video game. She's coming in terms of the troubled past. Let's see. The Count of Monte Cristo doesn't have who's the guy from Titanic? Who am I thinking of? It was a Count of Monte. There's been so many versions of this movie, but yeah, who's in this one? Oh, this looks like a French version.
Human beings, I guess.
Yeah,
Living,
so that's a classic.
Human beings.
Classic story. I have no idea what the hell,
No, none of these I haven't
It's
heard
not Leonardo DiCaprio on this,
but
one, so it's not
I'll
worth
be
watching.
fair. I'll be fair with these movies. These are not movies I normally pay attention to, so this could be more from the indie scene that I'm less aware of, admittedly. So there could be some merit to these, maybe. So I'm not gonna, unlike the comic list, which I'm very well versed, and I can tell, oh hey, this is just probably something that's unknown that's good, because I don't really think that something is unknown doesn't delegitimize it. So I'm just not aware of a lot of these movies. So for all we know, maybe they're worth our time.
Enclave, I don't know. His Three Daughters, is that the sequel to My Three Sons? Let's see, the TV show that is way before both our times, but that was Fred McMurray was on My Three Sons. You've never seen that show, I'm assuming, Nick.
No, I
My Three Sons. Yeah, it's a classic. Like a Leave It to
I
Beaver
know of it. Yeah, I definitely know of
okay,
it.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what that is. A Real Pain. No idea what the hell that is with Jesse Eisenberg. I guess he's not playing Lex Luthor in that. The Substance.
I've heard
This
of
sounds
The
interesting.
Substance. Yeah, Dennis Quaid's in it with Demi Moore. I heard it was good. I actually did hear some stuff about this one.
Okay.
You know what? For all I know, maybe it is. I just sadly have
It's
never
worth
seen
watching, maybe. Furiosa, not Mad Max, so that's definitely not my top 5. I mean, I know people love that Furiosa character, but Ann Taylor-Joy was okay in it, but it's just like,
she's better in The Menu. Watch her in the. Have you seen The Menu?
The Menu. I've heard about The Menu.
Oh, dude, no, watch her in
awesome.
that. She's
really
that
good,
movie is great, and she's great in it. The Menu is awesome. Would highly recommend The Menu.
That's an amazing story. I know what the story is about. So yeah.
Oh, dude, it's twisted. Oh, it's so twisted.
Right. Yep. And hail to Brian Hepburn. He says, Wild Robot, maybe the best movie I saw. It was my son's favorite. Oh, okay, cool. So after a shipwreck, an intelligent robot called Roz is stranded on an uninhabited island. It's awesome. Yep.
Awesome. It is so freaking good. It's either number 1 or number 2 for me. It is freaking
awesome.
Awesome.
Wow.
I
have to check
give that
out.
movie a high recommend. I loved it.
What studio did that? It's
DreamWorks.
Oh, it's DreamWorks.
I saw it right when it came on theaters, with family, and then we bought it on Blu-ray. I just watched it with my kids a few days ago, and it rewatches great. And it's based off a book. My oldest, she's a big fan of the book, and to see how she was happy about the movie after being a fan of the book was really awesome and pleasing. Yeah, The Wild Robot is great, and everyone should be watching it. It is absolutely excellent.
And we've got an update from Oliver. It says Wicked wins Best Cinema and Box Office Achievement Award at the Golden Globes. What the hell does that mean? Best Cinema and Box Office Achievement? It beat Deadpool and Wolverine, Alien Romulus, Beetlejuice 2 times, Beetlejuice, Gladiator 2, Inside Out 2, which was a huge hit, Twisters, which I enjoyed, and Wild Robot, which we were just talking about.
Were those all nominated?
I guess they were all nominated for the Golden Globules. Yep.
Okay. I didn't. So that's interesting. I wonder what, because if you look at it, it did very well in the States, Wicked.
Yep.
But it didn't do as hot overseas. It did, if you just look at the domestic market, it's one of the highest movies of the year. It's number 3 or number 4.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they're gonna push. They're gonna push Wicked. Gonna push Wicked naturally.
Oh, of course.
It falls into the line of the
shocked.
Critics
I'm just shocked it didn't fall in with overseas, but who knows? Maybe the follow-up will make up for that. But I was shocked that the overseas numbers weren't as hot.
I think it. I don't know how. I mean, the play is very popular. The musical.
Oh, dude!
I wonder.
Oh,
yes, I wonder how that translates to foreign audience versus Wizard of Oz. So,
good point,
Broadway
Mark.
musical might not translate as well in terms of hype.
I was working at a Borders. You remember Borders, the bookstore?
Yeah, bookstore. Yeah.
I was an employee for about 2.5 years, and I was a Borders employee in the prime of when Wicked was an ongoing play, and we sold audiobooks, stuff on Wicked every day at that store. It was such a huge thing. So I remember it being huge back then. I kind of remember at the time thinking, I'm surprised they haven't made a movie. And it's kind of weird to think now they finally just got around to it. It makes me wonder if they were they just somehow late bloom thought of the idea,
Yeah.
or if it was always in production and it just took a while to get off the ground. But I remember saying, wow, I'm surprised this doesn't have a movie, because it was just such a big deal at the time. Because I remember I was still in high school, finishing up high school, and a lot of the theater kids were all over.
Oh, the theater kids.
All
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah.
They straight up, they latched to that thing the same way a vegan tells you they're vegan.
Yeah, right. All the time. Yeah, you get that every time they got to mention that they're vegetarian. So that's why I always have this shirt at the ready. Eat more meat. There was a vegan restaurant I was reading about in San Francisco, a big chain in California, and they introduced meat to the menu to finally try to make some money, and then they got so protested, and they just decided to close the restaurants now, which is too bad. But they weren't eating enough bacon wrapped meatballs. Now that would be a bestseller at a restaurant, right? If you had bacon wrapped meatballs. But how about those balls, Nick? Do those look good? Bacon.
That's a very nice dandy set of scrotum.
Yeah,
you got on your grill.
Yeah. So Oliver here says, yeah, salute to Demi Moore's Golden Globe victory, Golden Globules, excuse me, as she won Best Performance by an Actress in The Substance, we were just talking about, which we had heard was good.
Oh, what do you know? Look at that.
There we go.
Well timed.
Thank
You know,
you,
good
Oliver.
for her.
Yeah.
If she is good in that, then good for her.
But she's a good actress. Yeah. Number 4 on this list is Nosferatu, which I really liked.
Awesome.
That would be in my top 5 of the year. Which is probably tough to have a top 5 movie list, actually. But yeah, that's really well. And that's actually the kind of movie where if you see it in the movie theater, kind of like Godzilla -1, it just has that much more. You just get the whole effect of being in a dark theater.
Oh, yeah.
For a movie like that. Ghostlight. Construction worker unexpectedly joins the local theater's production of Romeo and Juliet. No idea. I don't know anything about that movie. Which maybe I should. The Brutalist with Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones and Guy Pearce. Architect and his wife flee post Europe in 1947 to rebuild their legacy. I have no idea what that movie's about. Have you any idea on that one, Nick? I've
Not a
never heard of that.
clue.
Not a clue. We're just some uninformed critics here. And Dune Part 2. So Zendaya made the list twice. So I still haven't watched Dune Part 2, which is crazy. But I kind of like Part 1, but it didn't blow me away. I still like the David Lynch version better of Dune, despite, quote unquote, maybe some of the newer better special effects. But it didn't really excite me that much. I don't know, what was your take on the Duneverse movies, Nick? Did you see them?
I saw the first one from Denny Wallawuda Wusha Buga Baga Baga.
Yep.
And I thought it was fine. It wasn't anything that I'd want to watch again. It was just kind of like,
it's okay.
I could see why people like it. So I never honestly cared to watch number 2. I'll say this. I thought it was a major improvement over Blade Runner 2049, which should have never been a movie. I thought that was trash. And then Dune Part 1 happens. Well, okay, this is fine. It gets like a 6.5 in my book, but it seems like a lot more people are a lot more enthused than I am. And if that's the case, hey, great.
Zendaya and
a lot of people,
a
lot of people did seem to like 2. I'll give them that, and it did do well. I can't deny that either. It seems like it did have legs at the box office too. So even if I can be as less interested in it as possible, but the market spoke for it, and I cannot deny the market when it speaks, even if I'm not a fan.
Yeah, so that's the box office on those movies is big, and it made a big splash. So let's see here. Let's see. Best movies of 2024. Don't they have a list that we can use? Come on. I want a list. I don't want something like this. Come on, guys. Get with the program here. Don't you Rotten Tomatoes. Come on. What are you doing here? Let's see. Let me try to find another list, because
Well, while you're doing that, I'll list off some movies that I enjoyed.
Yeah,
So I'll give a quick honorable mention to Twisters. Not obviously, I prefer the first one, but the fact I even enjoyed this off a movie that we absolutely did not need a sequel to almost 30 years later actually ended up being fun and watchable. And Glenn Powell, I think the biggest flaw with Twisters was that anytime Glenn Powell was not in a scene, you can feel a slight quality dip because he was almost too good in every scene he was in. So I guess that's what happens when you become the rising tide that carries the boats. But overall, still enjoyable, even though you cannot top the first one because Bill Paxton. Solid. Now, as for really favorite movies of the year, the Superman movie, the Christopher Reeve documentary, was awesome. Very heartbreaking, very touching, very emotional. Would highly recommend everyone and their mother watch it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough watch, but
it's a tough watch. I saw it in theaters when they were doing the one-day release thing for Christopher Reeve birthday. But still, it was such a powerful watch. And of course, we mentioned earlier, but The Wild Robot. Oh,
yeah,
so good. Loved The Wild Robot. And this is gonna be a bit of a surprise, but I'm gonna throw in Despicable Me 4 because it has all the great hilarity that you expect from the Minions movies, but except this time around with God, what's that character's name? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Steve Carell's character in it. Gru. Gru. There's a great story about him trying to be recognized by his son because his son just sees him as this guy who hangs around the house, and he's like, "No, I'm your dad. No, I helped raise you." And it's ultimately like low key a father-son story about learning to grow with each other and realize, oh, hey, look, not only do I have a dad, but my dad's really awesome type of story amidst all the silliness and craziness. So I feel like that subplot doesn't get enough recognition there. Despicable Me 4, obviously Nosferatu. I'm a big Robert Eggers fan. And as much as I really could not give a shit less about remakes, I have a list of remakes that I accept that still is in the single digits, and this one got added to it. Great gothic horror. I can see a lot of black metal bands will be ripping off this movie for their album covers, whether it's from the forest scenes or the city scenes. So the future is going to be definitely a lot of Nosferatu-ish influence. And then, of course, I gotta say, I love Deadpool and Wolverine, man. I gotta say it. I really enjoyed it. I mean, there's a reason why I got an oversized Wolverine cup when I saw it. I loved it. I know there are people that get their problems with it, but I put my foot down on it. I even bought the damn Blu-ray of it.
Wow. Yep. There you go. So high praise. Yep. And I found on the list. Yeah, I'll go to Box Over Mojo next, fam. That's a good suggestion. But Challengers, not for me.
I can't wait to not watch that.
Yeah, Seed of the Sacred Fig. What is it? Corruption by ran by regime. Well, this what's this a story about? Well, something about Iran. Okay, so it could be interesting to watch, but not a mainstream movie. A Real Pain. They mentioned that about Jesse Eisenberg. Let's see, Holocaust Tour of Poland. Okay, so that could be an interesting movie to watch potentially, but not a mainstream movie. The critics always do that, like the Academy Award. It's like that's why they added, the animated best animated category. It's like you can't just, the genres don't mix and match. So, Inside Out 2 was a big hit.
I heard it was good. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I heard it was good. I hear it was void of anything with the message. Now, I've heard a further rumor that apparently initially there was apparently in a test screening and they took it out because it didn't test well. Okay. So I think that worked out in their favor because not only did Inside Out 2 did well, but it was the biggest movie in America alone. I think it was either the second biggest worldwide, if not the biggest worldwide.
We'll check the Mojo.
Whatever they cut out, it worked out
pretty well. Yep, yep. This is insane. Skywalker's a love story. Oh my god, I don't like heights, and don't try
I
this at home. Yeah.
love heights. I've been on the Sears Tower in Chicago. I loved it, dude. The first thing I did was look down.
Ooh. A Complete Unknown I've heard is great as if you're a Bob Dylan fan, or if you're if you're in the mood for documentaries, and that has like Academy Awards written all over it, right? I mean, those are the kind of movies that when either it's about something about a disabled person or someone super famous, but I've heard some good things about that, especially seeing that in the movie theater. The People's Joker. Oh god. Oh no, this was a who did this one? I think I've heard about this one. Like a take on the Joker, the People's Joker.
It
Who the
must
heck
be like
did
some parody film or
parody
something.
film or something, yeah. So I'm trying to, and some people love that movie, yeah. So they came to the defense of the movie. Okay, yeah. Tarantino and John Waters both said they loved that movie. So I don't know. I haven't watched it. I just not interested in it. Baby Girl. That's the Nicole Kidman movie. We're not the target audience for that, I guess, unless maybe it's maybe if it's date night. Yeah. We'll skip that one. Kinds of Kindness. Yeah, these are all critics. So let's go to Box Office Mojo. Oh, these were the different critics picking different movies, I guess. Yeah. So let's go to the Box Office Mojos. Let's check that out.
Inside
and then we'll
Out
move on to
2
TV shows.
Did almost really close. I don't know how it didn't hit, but dude, it did $1 billion alone overseas.
Wow.
$1 billion alone overseas. It was $1,698,000,000 overall worldwide. Yeah. So it was the runaway in the States. It was number one in the States, and it looks like it was number one worldwide too. Holy crud!
Wow. Oh, even bigger than as Phantom is saying, yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. So
I think a lot of people don't give Deadpool and Wolverine enough credit for how well did. And this is not about the quality of the film, but I think a lot of people got to remind themselves that Deadpool and Wolverine was still an R-rated movie.
Right? Yeah.
And the fact that even did those numbers is crazy. It made those numbers and look at how well it did. That's wild.
Totally bonkers. Yeah. So yeah, my number one movie of the year would probably be Deadpool and Wolverine, just in terms of an entertainment value. I'm doing my list backwards, I guess, but
yeah, do it.
That would be just love that character Deadpool in the movie there. Ryan Reynolds. We finally got Hugh Jackman. Remember when they gave him the cake on set, and last time playing Wolverine and Logan, and it's all over now, and he's done with Wolverine. Oh no, wait, was Logan the end, or was he? Logan was the last appearance as well, right?
It was.
Logan. Yeah. So they had all that big stuff like the send off, and he's been phenomenal as that character. And instant he was in the X-Men movie. Not that I said it at the time, but I'm like, this guy's going to be a star. I was thinking, he's got that on-screen charisma. He can sing, he can dance, and he can play Wolverine. So he's just got that it factor. And Drew Gray Scott, thankfully, nothing against him, but he never would have been as big as Wolverine as he went to go do the Tom Cruise movie as the villain, and was it Mission Impossible 2 or 1 back in the day.
It was nice to see an MCU movie also be very respectful to the comics, and I mean very respectful. There was a lot of great nods to comics while also being a love letter / farewell story to the Fox universe. Yep. And also, for me, this was my favorite performance of Jackman as Wolverine ever. Not even, this is my, it's like bar none, it's my favorite performance of him as Wolverine ever. I loved his performance as Wolverine in this movie. And I even thought they had a pretty good villain in Cassandra Nova. I was like, wow, she ended up being a pretty good villain. I was glad they had a good villain. and
And
obviously
she's
him
in the
and
comics. People
yeah,
were saying she's not in the comics. They
no,
turned
does
Charles
she?
Xavier into. I'm like, no. If you read the comics,
No, if you actually that once again, someone actually did their homework with this movie when it came to the comics and the Foxman continuity. Oh my
When
God,
the-
TZ.
ALTZ Burton, Happy New Year! Great to have you here on Sunday Night Geekery. Yeah, so that and that movie hits a lot of the right notes in terms of the character dynamics and Jackman's speech to Deadpool in the car, that
Mhm.
monologue in the end where he's tearing him apart.
Mhm.
And, it's a earned moment. It's not all played for laughs, and there's a character journey in there. Now maybe that Deadpool, character arc is going to be overplayed, and we're going to get sick of it. But they did a nice job of that. And of course, you had some planes, trains, and automobiles throwbacks in that movie that Reynolds loves, and we just covered. We did that movie on Toxic Tuesday where they had the. And I forgot to show it too. I think that night was the van from from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
In the field there. Of course, now I got to play. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Let's play that. The clip from my my favorite clip from that movie. Let's see. Here we go.
Now, you got no outside mirror.
No, we lost that.
You have no functioning gauges.
No, not a one. However, the radio still works. Funny as that may seem.
And then the sequel to that, I always got to split them up.
Do you feel this vehicle is safe for highway travel?
Yes, I do. Yes, I really do. I believe that. I know it's not pretty to look at, but it'll get you where you want to go.
I don't ever want to get pulled over, but I would love to, like, a cop. Do you feel this vehicle is safe for highway travel? Like,
Yeah.
But God bless John Candy.
I know, dude. So I was watching Home Alone with my kids, and like watching the scene where he has to bring Catherine O'Hara to her home to Kevin. I was like, man, John Candy. Every time you're in a scene, it's always memorable. Holy shit!
It's always awesome. Yeah,
He was really like. He wasn't particularly underrated, but I feel like I think he got like a moderate amount of hype at the time.
Well,
But I
comedians
feel
aren't held in high regard, unfortunately. Like Bill Murray, everyone went crazy when he was in Scarlett Johansson, Lost in Translation.
Yeah,
But I always say comedy is the toughest thing to pull off. So if you can pull off comedy, you can pull off drama.
Yeah.
Not every comedic actor, can do both. But look at Adam Sandler's tried to do some serious movies. Jim Carrey. But the comedy is really damn tough to pull off. I mean, so I think he was. Now people really appreciate John Candy, but and that's why Jackman and Ryan are just so good in this movie together with the charisma between the two of them. I'm glad they got a chance to do Deadpool Wolverine. Fun, it was great fun at the movie theater. It was just God. I'm glad they did. I mean, maybe they're gonna milk it dry. They'll keep doing them now. As they said, till he's 90, and Jack was like, God, I got to keep working out like this crap. Like you look at the picture when he was first Wolverine. How the times have changed. Now you have to rep like you were actually in the comics versus putting on a little bit of muscle. And
Well, what I like about him as Wolverine is he actually did the crouching pose when he got the claws out. Also, he ran when he ran after Valentine, like sprint like a sprint runner. He actually kind of did the like he was like a Wolverine running towards them. I thought that was cool. Then when he put on the mask, so costume looked great. Costume looked great. So he acted like Wolverine. That was the closest he acted like Wolverine in the comics ever. And I was like, this movie, and that probably for me is why it is my favorite performance of him as Wolverine, is because it was the most comic accurate. It wasn't just because of the suit. And what was also cool about the suit? They actually gave him white eyes. They didn't just give him the suit and the mask. They gave him the white eyes on top of the mask. Because usually when you have a superhero suit and they have a mask, outside of Spider-Man, they don't do the white eyes. They just you see the character's actual eyes. the fact they gave him the actual white eyes, I thought
Yeah,
was so
that's
freaking cool. And then the homages to like the classic covers, I was like, okay, you don't just whip those homages out of your ass. You actually had to look for that shit. Look for more than 5 minutes on that shit. And it's clear someone did. It helps that you
all
have
the
two
covers
guys.
they did. All the covers they did, in that scene, and people were asking me about it. I'm like, "Yep, those are all covers."
Oh, dude, I had to
covers,
do a lot of comic book guruing for that
Yeah.
movie. But that was a homage to this cover, that cover.
Yeah.
But you know how much fun it felt to do that again, because prior to that movie, I hadn't done that for an MCU movie
right
in several years, because I was like, it showed me how much I missed liking it when I could be like, oh
I
yeah,
almost
this
think
is
of it as a
nod to
Fox
this.
movie, right? I almost don't think of it as an MCU.
No, you don't,
Right?
because there was a lot of the earlier MCU movies you would be like, oh yeah, I could. Came from that. This came from that. You could break it down all day. And Deadpool and Wolverine was the first movie in a while that was that comic faithful. It was awesome to have. And once again, a great love letter to the Foxman universe, which for me it was hit or miss. When it missed, it really missed, and then when it hit, it really hit. But conversation for Nerd Act, that'd be a great conversation to have.
It is a good one to have.
I really did enjoy this movie, and I'm happy it did as well as it did. They had great chemistry, and it lived up to its R rating too. By the way, holy crap!
And when they rag on Disney too, how awesome was that?
Yeah. No, it was. I had such a blast. And of course, we can't, just not mention the legendary cameo from Wesley Snipes, dude.
God.
Okay, so I saw a screening at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. They seriously lost their mind. You could have swore I was at the World Series Super Bowl when Wesley Snipes' blade popped up on that screen. I'll tell you, man, I felt that shit too. As someone who was almost apathetic, oddly enough, I've become more apathetic after Deadpool. And maybe it's because of how much I enjoyed it. I'm just like, man, they really.
Oh, they nailed it.
Deadpool and Wolverine was a reminder of how good we once had it and how much they fucked it all up since.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Like the ultimate double-edged sword of a movie, but boy, was it cool to see Wesley Snipes. And it reminded you,
and the one and only Blade,
right? It reminded you why we should have one more film with him as Blade, and
he could pull it off totally.
Yeah, no disrespect to Mahershala Ali, but we gotta give our boy Wesley one more shot.
And they put that shot in the movie too. Like he says, there'll only ever be one Blade. Mm-hmm. It's like, I can't believe they just freaking put that in the movie. I mean, so that's although I don't know how they got all those lines through, except for that they couldn't put anything about doing coke, I guess, in the movie, which is another great in joke too. So they're just saying, they went for broke, and I guess Reynolds is just so popular now, and Jackman, they can kind of get away with whatever they wanted. So, my God, that was just awesome. I mean, just so great. So yeah, so here's an article from I think they've got all the covers here that Phantom was requesting. So yeah, Uncanny X-Men 251. Yeah, which is a great cover. Yep. So that's a all-time classic cover. I got that. But the Reavers, the Reavers are great characters. Yep. That's X-Men 131. Oh no, 131. I think that, which is one of the better. 132. I wasn't reading. I was just guessing.
But that's do you have that?
Favorite. I do have 132. Yep, off the newsstand. That was a great, and that kind of set Wolverine apart too. That I think that's his. I don't know why that issue is not worth more. I mean, not that it matters, but that's like one of the most important Wolverine issues, I think, in terms of developing his character. He became a real kick-ass character. I guess. Oh, they're not doing the showing all the other. Oh God, I love this episode. Yeah, this is 113. Or episode issue. Oh, that's a great issue. God, when my grandfather brought that home, I was like, I need the next one. I need the next one.
Need it.
So let's see, what other covers are they? Oh, well, I
No.
only did that cover, but yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, no, there's a few more. Oh, there's the one with the Hulk and Wolverine where the Hulk is
yeah.
on his claws.
Yeah.
And then there's the look he had for the Age of Apocalypse where his beard was super bushy. There was that look.
Yeah.
And then he had the patched
Old Man
look.
Logan.
And he also had the Old Man Logan from Mark Miller and Steve McNiven's comic as well. So
5 foot tall Wolverine.
Don't forget. Oh yeah, that 5'3" tall Wolverine, and then they with the brown suit as well, which is from the John Byrne era, which is cool to see. It was so cool to see all that stuff. Like, man, I remember when you saw Chris Evans, I was probably the only one there who knew he was not going to be Captain America Johnson, not because of the internet, but I could tell by his mannerisms right off the bat.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, he's not talking like Captain America. He was talking like a hothead right away.
Oh, that was great.
So it should have been very obvious, but it was still well played because you could tell he was wearing blue, but they covered just enough to let you know that to make you think it was Cap, but it really wasn't. But I knew. I'm like, oh, this is totally Johnny Storm. I get it.
Yeah, no, that was just, and people forgot too because that movie is so long ago. Even though the '90s wasn't that long ago, Phantom Outsider. Yeah, so that blew people away. But yeah, so Deadpool and Wolverine my number one, and that was most fun in the movie theater. I've heard good things about Mona too, but that's not for me. Godzilla versus King Kong: The New Empire, be my top 5, I think. That was a fun movie. Godzilla -1, I guess, would be considered last year, so that wouldn't. Otherwise, that would be in my definite top 5. Venom: Last Dance, I have not watched. Have not watched Mufasa. Beetlejuice. I'll have to watch that. I've heard Bad Boys Ride or Die is really good from Tom.
I've heard that too.
So that should be a watch. I have not seen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is inconceivable. Twisters I would put in my top 5. That was a fun popcorn movie. We talked about that.
Rise of the Morning Wood of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Oh, Brian, yeah, the Sticky Fingers TV series with what was the actress's name? Jill. She did those car commercials. That was the Blade TV series. Not Jill Ireland. God, Drag Nabbits. Blade TV series. Let me look it up. But yeah, what was her last name? That was pretty good, actually. She was
human being.
Jill Wagner. Yeah, that was a decent watch. If you haven't seen it, it ends too soon, but it's such a great character, and his acting is not that good in the beginning, but it gets a little bit better. And they only got one season. How many episodes did they get? 15 episodes, or what did they? And I think it's on the YouTubes now. How many episodes did they get of that? That was 13 episodes. What year was that? That year was a few years ago. That was 2006. All right. The Jill Wagner was cute in that episode. Yeah. What she do? I can't remember. Some kind of TV commercial she was on. Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. I guess it would be my top 10. I'm not doing these in order. Quiet Place Day 1. I haven't watched that. Red 1. I want to be careful. I don't want to get my neighbor mad at me, but I thought that was okay popcorn movie, not great. Kind of like Fall Guy. It's like
I gotta mention with If, my kids saw that and they really liked If.
They love that, yeah.
Yeah, they really thought If was awesome. I know it underperformed at the box office, but apparently they really enjoyed
the Ryan
it.
Reynolds one, right? Yeah, that did look fun. Yeah, with all the characters.
I know it's an original story, and I'm glad it almost hit 200
something
million.
New.
Yeah,
so it did pretty good. Yeah, almost 200 million. That's a pretty big hit. And Red 1, look, that was only supposed to be direct to streaming. It made 184 million. So that's not bad. I don't know what the budget was. And that was
I think the Fall Guy flat out went way under budget, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, it just goes to show you, like, if it had a much lower budget, that probably would have been considered a hit. But because they went so crazy at the budget,
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yep. And let's see here. Beekeeper, we both have to watch. You got in trouble on Midnight Set for not watching that. And I was listening, and they were yelling at you for not watching it. Tom was yelling at you. Smile 2, is that the horror movie? Yeah, I haven't seen that. Transformers 1, I've heard is good. Long Legs. I'm trying to see what I'd pick. Madam Web, I would pick as my bottom 5. And the funny thing is, when my wife watched it, I better half watch. She's like, "How horrible was that movie?" Oh God. Nosferatu is in my top 5. I don't know if I've counted top 5 yet. Craven the Hunter, my God, we talked about that last weekend. What a freaking disaster that movie was. My God. I mean, I guess you could watch the first 5 minutes. The prison break scene was okay. Have you seen it, Nick? I'm assuming you haven't.
No, I know how happy I was in my life to have just not watched it. Like, life is too short, man, and I want to spend my time enjoying as much as I can, and I don't want to subject myself to shite. And I did it.
Yep. And let's see here. What else we got on this list here to jog my bad memory here? Terrifier 3, I won't watch that. I can't handle that stuff. The Substance, I guess we'll have to add the list to watch. But I'm trying to think of what else is on this list here. But that I would recommend.
I heard Reagan was good. Culture Casino.
Yeah, Reagan
was good. I didn't see it, but I heard it was good.
Yeah. And let's see here. What was someone in the chat saying? Oh, yeah. Tetrarch was saying Godzilla Minus One was re-released in 2024. Okay, so I'm putting that on my list then. Godzilla Minus One. I went to see the black and white version in 2024. So, and 19 years of 40 years, 19 years ago, a few, 40 years, also not that many years ago. LOL. Yep. And Brian really liked Transformers. 1. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of, like, people who saw it. The people who saw it really like it, even though it did not do well at all. But it seems like for those who saw it, it seems like they really benefit from the viewing experience. Which, I'll tell you what, man, I'm gonna admit, when I saw that trailer for it, I thought the trailer sucked. And then even one of my buddies, Price of Reason, thought it looked awful. But then he actually saw the movie. He's like, "Oh, it's actually a pretty good movie." I was like, "Wow." Even Price of Reason liked it. And him and I, we dunked on that trailer. Like, we looked at the trailer. Right? You could have swore that trailer's name was Zack Snyder, and we kept taking shots at it. But nope, he actually really enjoyed it. I was like, "Fuck." Wow. Well, hey, I'm happy to be wrong.
Yeah, we'll admit it, we're wrong too. Yep. I was watching this movie today, Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim. And
did you enjoy it?
So far, I kind of liked it. I mean, the crazy thing is, of course, this character has no name in the appendices. So I think part of it is they're trying to build up the Wyman as, heroes. And I'm about 3/4
She's
through.
Important too. She has to have a story too.
And
look at all those men who wiped out her story.
And she can't fight for most of the movie, which was interesting. I'm like, well, they pretty much depowered her, and she's a princess who, knows how to ride a horse, and they call her, quote unquote, like a tomboy, or she's rough and tumble, and she's, so I think it's, if you didn't try to tie it to Lord of the Rings, they put in a scene with some goblins who are going to they're killing all these people, orcs, and they're looking for rings. There's like a revenge story, the father, daughter, family. I haven't gone I've got about 15 minutes left, and it's been okay, but I'm assuming she gets all super powered in the end and like kills everyone. And I don't know if have you seen it, Nick, or no?
No, I didn't give a shit less.
You didn't give a shit
about it. And I remember, like, Gary Nerd Rock was actually slightly optimistic for it, and I thought, "Oh, Gary, you spring chicken, you're gonna learn the hard way from this one too." wish I'll say, okay, yeah, I knew he was ready to trash on the Rings of Power, but I'm happy he had some optimism for War of the Rohirrim, but I just knew, I'm like, this is not going to be good, and sure enough, it sounded like it was not good.
I mean, so far it's been okay. I got to watch the final act. It's basically a rehash of the Battle of Helm's Deep without all of the characters we love, and it's missing that excitement.
Have you rewatched the original trilogy in the last few years?
Many times. Oh, we didn't do it this Christmas, and I have the extended editions.
Okay.
We usually watch it every Christmas when the kids are home, and damn it, we didn't do it this year. But my God, and we'd watch each one night each movie because they're like 5 hours long or whatever the extended editions are. And it's one of the few movies where the extended edition really makes a lot more sense and adds a lot to the movie, which is fantastic. And the Battle of Helm's Deep, I remember being in the movie theater, turning to my friend like, I can't bleeping believe how amazing this movie is. Like that whole Helm's Deep scene. So they're trying to recreate that a little bit in this movie, War of the Rohirrim. It's really, I mean, if you had told me it was just like just a sword and sorcery movie, I think we would have looked at it a lot differently instead of like plopping the Lord of the Rings IP on it and using, the Battle of Helm's Deep set pieces. If you just made it as its standalone story, I think it would have worked a lot better. Of course, it would have never gotten made, obviously, without the Lord of the Rings tie-in. So, once it's streaming, maybe give it a shot. But I'll see what the ending is. But The Apprentice, that's the Donald Trump movie with Sebastian Stan. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on here.
That was a huge bomb.
Huge bomb.
Huge
Yep.
bomb. Huge.
Yep.
Like the best bombs. I've seen some bombs before, but this was the best bomb. It was the biggest bomb ever. You guys are losers. You're fired. Get out.
So that was and Sebastian Stan was mad at no one on the movie would talk to them. They shunned them, like they wouldn't talk to them. He actually said a few good things about that, in terms of like you should actually, maybe accept different ideologies. So so I think it was not a great year for movies, but Deadpool and Wolverine was a standout. What was the highest domestic movie? Let's see here. Domestically, Inside Out 2.
Inside Out 2, yeah. Deadpool,
just by a little bit.
Too, yeah.
And Wicked 3.
We gotta remember, like for Deadpool and Wolverine once again to be that close, being an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Easily, even when you adjust for inflation, it's still the biggest R-rated movie of all time. It doesn't even come close. And I'm happy it got the success that it did. I am really happy that did. It's just, man, such a fun time. And I think with the MCU, I have a feeling we're going to be stuck in a whole roller coaster of wet animal feces for the next 3 or 4 years. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah. I hope I'm wrong with Daredevil Born Again. We'll find out.
Yeah.
But I am prepared for the worst case scenario.
Yep. Be prepared. Buckle up. And Oliver says Ride or Die was a great watch. But the best moment was Marcus's son-in-law Reggie becomes a U.S. Marine. I have to watch that. I got to watch that. Yep. But why don't we'll cover the best TV shows kind of quickly because we probably got to it's getting late now, and we'll try to do that quicker than we did the movies, and then maybe like just the top 5 real quick or a couple things that we like. It can be anything. But let me check.
I've already got that lined up.
You got that lined up, awesome.
Oh yeah, I got my best shows.
You got your best
shows.
I
even got my worst as well.
Awesome.
If you want me to add the worst, I can keep it positive. You let me know. Yeah, but I got it lined up.
Let me find a good. I didn't do the show prep that I usually do during. It was a damn busy week. Unfortunately,
hey, tell me about it. I've had a wild week in the last week. So if anyone knows, it's me, brother.
Yep. So let's see if this article. I just want like a list without a million things on it. But let's see. let's see what we does this have a good I'm gonna flip through quick. I guess it's got that one's semi decent. Let's see, or digital trends. Let's see here. So it's always good to have something to work off of. Let's see, is this a good list? Here, all right, maybe this list will be shorter to look at. Okay, I'll go through this real quick, and then you can do your best ones. Yep, Skeleton Crew. I haven't seen the latest episode. I've been enjoying it. It's
hear
skewed
it's
towards
good.
kids. Yeah, it's harmless. The only problem is we know that the shit that happens in the Star Wars universe that we all can't stand. So that's the problem. So, but it's so far, excuse me, it's been good. The Bear's been phenomenal. I haven't seen third season. I thought the end of the second season they kind of too much of a rehash. This guy is going to be playing Ben Grimm. What the heck is the actor's name? I can't remember his name. But I think he can pull off a badass character. So I think he could do a good Ben Grimm in the Fantastic Four movie. So I didn't mind his casting, and he's of Jewish descent, which thankfully Clobby and I were all talking about. They're probably going to swap all the characters around.
I was shocked that they didn't. I thought we were gonna have a super gay Johnny Storm, and I thought we were gonna get a race swap Ben Grimm, and I thought like we were gonna get a Sue Storm who looked nothing like Sue Storm. They were so close. They had 2.5 to 3 out of 4 correct, but then they had to bring in Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. And so we'll see what that movie does. But I'm happy with. I'm forgetting the damn actor's name, but I haven't watched the third season. But watch the first 2 seasons of the Bear are good. I'm assuming the third is okay. The Boys just went off the chart with their derangement. It's not even like subtle parody, so it's just I did watch it. There's a couple of interesting things that happened. Oh, that girl was disgusting. Oh my god, that scene. But just off the top, Fallout was probably my number one. I'm gonna say probably was I'm probably gonna say that was my number one series of the year. I think Fallout. Ella Purnell is great, and Walter Goggins. I mean, what a star he is. That underrated. And too, when you catch how many movies he's in, you see him, and that was a fun job there with that fun take on that post-apocalyptic universe there. So I did enjoy Fallout. I thought a couple of things were stupid.
Drinker and Mueller had a big debate on it because Drinker was on the side of liking it, Mueller was on the side of not. But it was cool to see them both have a extensive debate because I think that's the most I've ever seen them disagree on anything ever. But it was great to see that conversation take place between the two.
Yeah. No, I mean, especially and it's fun to, disagree and talk about why, and back it up. Not that it's like a debate, but like that movie sucked because it sucked. Why didn't you like it? And there were some things I didn't like the character of the young, the Marine, the guy that took over the suit. I thought there was some ridiculous stuff. I didn't like his character, but Walter Goggins as the ghoul, and I didn't catch that he was the father in the movie, in the beginning too, because the makeup was so good, and then when it clicks, you're like, oh my god. The Shrinking I have not watched. I hear this is good. Only Murders in the Building. This last season, it just was too much. I mean, it was just. I do like the show and you like the characters, but this season I thought was subpar. Not if you're a fan of the series, watch it. Martin and Martin are phenomenal, actors and comedians, and but yeah, it's just that 4th season kind of was a little bit too much. Baby Reindeer, have a lot of controversy about that one. Haven't watched. The Penguin. Believe it or not, I have not watched this, but I know that's going to be in your top list. Silo. Oh, this was group of people. Oh, I haven't seen this one yet. That's I'm thinking of a different series. So Silo, I guess check that. And of course, Shogun. Yeah, I really like that show. I haven't watched finished it to completion, but that was good. Cobra Kai would get an honorable mention. Not a great season, but it kind of ended well, and I thought it ended on a high note, and we'll see what we get in that second half. And I just love just love the characters. So, what would your list entail, Nick?
Be of shows? Okay.
The Acolyte, probably.
Oh,
Let's see,
dude.
what
Top
Echo
show of the year. Echo 2. Oh, dude. It was Acolyte. It was Echo. It was Agatha all along. You know.
Time Bandits, probably.
Yeah. It was the best of the best, you know. Okay. But really, in all seriousness, I'm going to go with, I really enjoyed Landman. I've never watched Yellowstone, so I don't know anything else about what Taylor Sheridan's done. I know the second to last episode premiered tonight, but because the bulk of it came out last year, I'm going to consider a 2024 show. Landman was great. It's got Billy Bob Thornton, as you know him.
Yep.
Oddly enough, we were mentioning her earlier. Demi Moore's in it. John Hamm is in it. Really great Texas drama about an oil rig company. Really brutal times. I really enjoy also Cobra Kai. I did. I actually thought the first half was pretty good, but I thought the second, sorry, not first half, first third, because we gotta remember they extended it by 5 episodes.
Yep.
So instead of half, it's a third now. First half was pretty good, but I thought the second, third was really strong.
Yeah,
and I thought, okay, this really picked up and it had an ending. I'll admit they got me. I didn't expect it to go the way that it did, so I really enjoyed it. And then, I can't believe I'm saying it, but X-Men 97 was fucking awesome, dude.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention that.
Cannot believe how much I enjoyed it. And trust me when I say I was so ready to hate this show until I end up fucking enjoying it. We got 3. Okay. I'm gonna get two more mentions of what I liked, and one mention of something that's absolute shit. One other thing I enjoyed, it's this. Hey, wait, brace yourself. It's a children's show, but it turns out that I am not the only parent invested, even though it happened by chance, not just because our parents told me so. But dude, Bluey is the best fucking cartoon
Bluey is so popular.
ever. They had a wave of new episodes, followed by one episode that was its longest episode ever, followed by a wave of minisodes, and it is one of the best kid shows, one of the best family entertainment shows ever.
It saved Disney right at one point. They were saying,
well, it's not even a Disney show. It's just the fact that
but the streaming,
it's on
they
Disney
bought it.
Plus. Dude, it's been the most streamed thing on Disney Plus for years. It's not even a Disney property.
Right?
It's insane how good Bluey is. If you're mom or dad out there, watch Bluey with your kid, and before you know it, you're gonna be just as hooked as your kid, maybe even more so. I can't stress Bluey enough. It's that good. Okay. And dishonorable mention goes to Creature Commandos. This show sucks.
It's really bad.
It fucking sucks. The jokes do not land at all. I think there's one subplot from one character that I like. And yes, does it go in on the message? Oh, within the first 2 minutes of the first episode.
All in.
Does it ever?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It is trash, like straight up trash. And now the number one, the Penguin. I hate the Batman movie. We all know that. Me and Tom boast about it practically. But however, I really enjoyed the show. Even though it's not my definitive take on the character, I will give credit where it's due. It was a well-written show. And man, you want to talk about a show that's making villains great again? The Penguin did that. It does it. It's like, yes, there's layers, there's nuance to the character. It shows you why he is the way he is, but it's not doing it to make you feel bad. It's doing it to make you realize why you're going to hate him. And they stuck the landing with the finale. That's the biggest
Oh,
part.
good night,
about it, 'cause
Donnie. Take care. Happy 2025. Yep, sorry, Nick.
Good night, Donnie.
Night's calling in. Yep.
It's one thing when you start strong, but it's a whole other when you finish strong. And this show finished strong. I honestly don't want them to make a second season.
Not needed. Is it like a primer to the character basically in this universe? So,
if I had to take an educated guess, which I could be wrong on, just my opinion and thoughts, it's probably setting up the sequel to Batman. But there have been rumors that apparently because of how well received this show was, that there's talks about giving it a second season. I don't want them to. I really don't.
Okay.
If I didn't watch Shogun, so maybe I'd rank it somewhere, but I didn't catch it, so I don't know, and I'm not going to play revisionist history with it. If I catch it this year and watch it, I'll consider it. Hey, here's a show I got into late to the game, but those are the ones I enjoyed and not enjoyed. Cause of Creature Commandos is awful.
I heard once was it Tom said one episode was good, or Gary said one episode was semi decent. I can't remember who it was of that Creature Commandos. It was it didn't have. It was maybe the Frankenstein one.
Dude, Frankenstein is
was
the
that,
worst.
Oh, that's the worst one
on the show. Well,
maybe it was a different.
Maybe Gary and I won't agree, but Frankenstein.
No, it could have
opinion,
been. Maybe it wasn't. It was this. My Garbaggio memory, but there was someone reviewing it said like there was one episode that stood out as like passable and the rest was Garbaggio. So if you said Frankenstein was bad and then it wasn't the Frankenstein one.
He's the worst
I haven't watched it, so yeah, he's bad.
Frankenstein I have ever seen.
Ouch.
Ever seen. There was one I mentioned earlier, there's one episode that had one subplot that was good. That was based off a character's background. That subplot of the one episode, it's not even the main plot of the episode, but it's like a side story. It's the only good part of that entire show. That's it.
Yep.
Everything else
is horrible. Yeah.
Some might be more generous than me, but as far as where I stand, I am not generous towards Creature Commandos. I mean, unless you really do you want me to tell you which character it's a side story for?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
The Weasel.
Oh, that's who. I might have been listening to you. I can't remember who I was listening, but someone said that was something about the Weasel was recent. So yeah,
it's basically it's his exposition dump, and it's really good.
Yeah, because he's not really guilty of
no.
Yeah,
not at all. So he's not a villain at all. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not a sympathetic villain at all. He's just not a villain. Period.
So let's see. We're being at. Have you seen The Shift? And that's The Shift that is with Neil McDonough, who's a great actor. I love him.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen that. I don't know anything about. Oh, it's a movie though. Or is it a movie or a TV show? Oh, it's a new movie. A tense encounter with a mysterious stranger with otherworldly powers. A man finds himself banished to a parallel Earth where he fights to get the woman he loves back. Okay, well, anything with Neil McDonough I'll check out, but
isn't he in Tulsa King?
I'm not sure. Let's see if he's in
Tulsa King. I've heard Tulsa King is good too.
Yeah, that's another one that. Let's see, The Shift. Walking Tall. Let's see, does he have him in? Let's see, is in Tulsa King. But yeah, that's another Yellowstone. I haven't seen this latest season, but it seems like it's a big disappointment from what Tom, and I always trust Tom. No, I guess he's not in. Oh, well, let's go down to Tulsa King. Let's see if he's he's in Tulsa King. Main role season 2. Okay. So definitely have to watch Tulsa King. That should make my list once I watch it, probably. But let's see what else. Oh, what else was One Piece? If One Piece was One Piece 2024,
2023.
That's because that would make my list.
That was like my top 2 or top 1. One of them.
And Reacher was last year too. House of the Dragon. I loved that first season. The second season was much about nothing. My God, talk about filler. And oh my God, I mean, what did they do? I mean, it was so good in season 1, And season 2 to end on that cliffhanger with the dragon, it's like, you've got to give us part of the dragon battle at the end of season 2. I mean, what's going on there? I mean, I don't know how they, that's what you're talking about, stretching shows out because they don't have, like, oh, this is popular, let's just keep it going. We don't want to end it. It's like, tell your damn story and don't give us episodes and episodes of filler. And you've got enough moments in there for character and world building that it shouldn't take you that long to do. So did you? It sounds like you did watch that, Nick, the second season of House of the Dragon, or
I have not watched it. No.
Oh, I haven't watched it. Okay, the first season's phenomenal, and Matt Smith is fantastic in that show. But yeah, it's just a shame how that show went. But yeah, we did have some good TV this year. Yeah, Reacher was last year. That season was pretty good. Of Reacher. Oh, Chaos, Jeff Goldblum. Amazon, of course, typical Amazon, they cancel a show on a cliffhanger one season. He's playing a Zeus. That's a take on Greek mythology, and they're all the gods, but the gods are real today in current society, and they're being worshipped. And it was an interesting take, and Jeff Goldblum's always interesting, but yeah, they canceled it after one season. So screw those guys. Come on, Netflix, at least don't end on a cliffhanger, or have like an episode in the can where if the show is canceled, we'll add this episode of the season. If not, we'll keep it as as premiere of season 2. But yeah, just total screw up there. So why don't we do our if we can come up with a few things that were favorites, anything in 2024, and then we'll get on out of here so everyone can get to bed early for work tomorrow, because we did hit 3 hours here. So do you have anything like that's a favorite of 2024 that was like it could be a moment too, I guess, or a YouTube thing that happened, or anything, I guess?
Oh man,
I'm putting you on the spot with this one.
I would need time to think of it.
I'm putting Nick on the spot. I'm like, Nick, you go first so I can think of something.
If I had time to think of it, I probably would have one, because once again, like, granted, I didn't catch the most of everything, whether it was comics, shows, movies, music, but what I did catch, a lot of it I enjoyed. So that's why I don't have many things that I can't stand. Now, obviously, the things I can't stand, I'm gonna say it.
Well, I'll go because I can think of a couple of fun things that I did for the year.
Boy.
Well, you think I got a couple of fun things. So I got to go to Terrificon in the summer, so that was awesome, and I got to meet Daphne Zwinga. I can try to pronounce her name. I met Armin Zimmerman. I met Ponch and John. I got autographs, and I got an autograph from Quark, and I left it on the desk. And thank God he was on Twitter back then. And I posted and I tagged him. I said, I think I maybe in my bad brain, I think I left it on your desk, Mr. Shimmerman, if you happen to read this. And son of a bitch, he read it. That's one of my favorite moments of 2024. He reached out to me. I have his email address. I will not give it out. I won't email him back. But he emailed me because I couldn't, he didn't follow me. I'm like, how can I reach you with I didn't want to post my address online. And God bless him, he sent me a picture. And I was going to do a video on this, and I never did because I get so far behind with real world stuff. And let me turn my camera on, and I'll show this. Put the lights up. So so Mr. Shimmerman, if you're out there watching, so he wrote, sent me that. He didn't have to do this too, because I screwed up. I left it on the desk. Like, I was so excited to meet him. Whenever you meet someone, and then we went to take a selfie together. So we got our selfie together. So he says, Mark, rule number, is that 57? Yeah. Good customers are as rare as latinum. Treasure them. So he, as he wrote me, he said, in tongue in cheek, but that's Armin Shimmer and Quark. He didn't have to do that. He's like, but my customers, they paid for their autograph and they're going to get it. Damn it. So God bless him. And yeah, he's not on Twitter, so I can't thank him again on Twitter right now. But that was one of my best moments. That Terrificon was fun, but yeah, I didn't. And in Phantom, yes, I didn't ask Daphne and Zwinga if she could still chug a shotgun beer, but that was a fun moment. Yeah, and the sure thing, she learns to shotgun a beer by putting a pencil through it and chugging it. And yeah, I forgot to ask her that. I was so excited. And also, I dropped $100 on the way to Comic-Con in cash because I try to hide the purchases from my much better half. Although everything is credit card these days, so I'm like, I'm bringing $200, to spend at Comic-Con as my budget. And it's also better too if you bring cash, because then like that's what you have to spend.
Yeah. I try to bring I bring cash with me on purpose to con so I can spend as less as possible.
Yes, go over, and son of a gun, I dropped $100. Because I didn't have it in my wallet the right way. I did in the New York City subway, and I hear, "Sir." I'm like, what? And I finally, you don't want to answer anyone in the subway. And said, Dad and his son. And I should have gotten their name, or at least their first name. And I wanted to kind of take their picture, but the guy's like, "You dropped this," and maybe he thought it was a reality show. I don't know, but I dropped $100 bill on the New York City subway platform, and he gave it, and he's like, "You dropped this." I'm like, "I can't." I'm like, "Thank you so much." He was going to Comic-Con too. Yeah. Obviously, it was all the Comic-Con crowd, but he could have just scarfed it up and kept it. So, shout out to Mr. Unnamed, who gave me gave me back my $100 bill so I could buy useless junk at quote unquote. I love this stuff, but at Comic-Con. So that was an amazing moment of there are honest people out there. Not everyone is a jerk. So that was just really really great. And going to New York City Comic-Con was a ton of fun too. So that was like moments. Those were great. Great moments. And I guess toy wise, I did get some really cool toys for Christmas, thankfully. But probably the best one. Let me grab Corgi, but it's out on the desk here. But I got the Batman Corgi. I'll just show it on the screen. You could Corgi collectors, Corgi Collectors Club. So they're reproducing the Corgis because I know geeks and nerds like us love this stuff. So here, let me just show this on the screen. And they reproduce the and I've always wanted this. Like I never had it. Damn it, I always wanted this. So they're selling the Corgi at the Corgi Club, and as soon as a lot of times I'll ask for a present, or so I gave myself this for Christmas because as soon as it was available, I bought it, and I got what's this on the credit card? What's this Corgi? I'm like, oh, that's a Christmas gift, but and I didn't say for me, and then I wrapped, and because I'm like, I'm not, sometimes things sell out, and I'm like, I'm not missing this. Like, there's no way I'm missing this. So, because that happens before where you don't buy something. And I had like friends who had this as a kid. Like, there's a trashed one. So they came out with this, Corgi Club, reproduction, and damn, it looks great. I got to do a review of this or show this off. But that's probably my favorite toy because of the nostalgia factor too. So you get something like that. It's just freaking awesome. And one thing for on the music side, I got Abbey Road and a Super Deluxe with the DVD audio, Blu-ray audio. Nick, have you ever listened to anything with Blu-ray audio, uncompressed audio?
I have not. Go on.
It's like being at the freaking concert. It's like you're in the room with the Beatles, and they do have the mono. Well, Abbey Road I think is only stereo mix. Although Octopus's Garden might be mono one version, but the good thing is you get the Super Deluxe of the albums, the Beatles albums. They give you the old and the new. It's not like Star Wars, we can only get the new stuff on the special effect wise. And God, you flick that Blu-ray audio on, the uncompressed audio, and I have a semi decent sound system. My God, it's just like so amazing. And of course, Giles Martin, who's George Martin's son, not the football giants, George Martin, the producer. His son remixed it. They did an Atmos mix for Abbey Road, and they did a surround sound mix. And oh my God, I can't turn that down. It's just so even if you're not a Beatles fan, which everyone should be a Beatles fan, but just to listen to the quality, and God, I wish they had more albums like that where, if they, as cool as vinyl is, if they sold, like HD versions of every album. I mean, Pink Floyd has done it for some of their music, and the Beatles have been doing it. But on a Blu-ray, the physical media, the Blu-ray is just, oh God, I just can't tell you how. I mean, it's like being at the concert, basically. It's just blows you away when you listen to it, especially with the sound effects. So that was probably my number one music item of the year. Just those have been out for a while, but damn, that was good. That was just so good. So if you do you must have a Blu-ray player at home, right? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. So yeah, just I can't say enough how good it is. And one of these new ones, they didn't do the Blu-ray for it. I was like so pissed when they did like the Super Deluxe, and they didn't have the Blu-ray. It's like, come on, you got to do the Blu-ray for this. So that's my 2 thumbs up. So oh yeah, I did find honest people in the subway. That what are the odds? Yeah, thank God they didn't try to set me on fire or push me under the train. God, my kids are riding the subway all the time, and they have nightmares sometimes. And I'm like paranoid. I'm a big guy, so it'd be tough to push me under the tracks. But I'm like always up against the wall or never near the track. So yeah, it can be scary there. So and of course, not the. I know. Well, Nick, why don't you do your? Did you think anything that was cool for 2024? Or
there's a few cool things that I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying. Okay, sorry, my brain is now starting to malfunction here at the last minute
okay.
now.
Yeah. Before we head out, yeah.
Yeah, right. Go figure. As we're heading out the door. Let's see here. We went to a cool metal fest. We had a great time, up many late nights till 3 or 4 a.m. And one of the nights we got in line at the Whataburger drive-thru during the midnight hours, and we waited over half our line to get our food in line at the drive-thru on foot. And we got served on foot at the drive-thru.
Oh, that's cool. That's
so
fun,
I'm pretty proud to say we got served at the drive-thru on foot. So yes, we did have a wave of cars in back of us and a wave in front of us of cars. So
that's awesome.
That's one of them. I would probably say more, but my brain is crumbling.
Yeah. Well, did you go to the Dallas meetup this year? Or
I did. Dallas meetup was good. It was really good.
Yeah, Dallas
and I will definitely be doing. I'll be a part of a few of them, 1 or 2 of them later this year.
Yeah, I got to make one of those soon. Yep, that would be fun to see people in person. But
yeah,
and of course, not to end on a downer, but of course, best of times, worst of time. Of course, can't leave 2024 behind without mentioning people that we lost. And I know probably a lot of people lost. As the older we get, you lose people. But of course, our buddy Clobber Times, just always think of him and always miss him. And there's a hole there that can't be filled. And what a good friend he became. And he always look out for you too. So, and he was always there. So that that Sunday night in June, was it June? What was the date? June 9th or June 11th? I'm trying to the Toxic Tuesday where it fell on that side. I think it was June 9th, but neither here nor there. But like where's Mike? Because he never missed a show. Plus, he's one of the few guys. I try to tell people when I can't be on a show if I've been invited. But he would never he would either tell you, or he'd be like, on Sunday he would always go to visit his parents, and then they moved further away. So, oh, buddy, hey, buddy, it might be a little bit late tonight. I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't run.
Yeah, he
someone
was
else will
always
be here.
transparent.
Always transparent. So we didn't hear anything that night, and I knew, like, mother Fuddruckers, when I texted him on the. We did a lot of chat with on Facebook Messenger. We had a lot of we had our, like a lot of people do, had their messages back and forth, and then when in the morning when I got back, this is Jonathan, Mike's son. Please, call me. Call me when you can. I was like, oh shit, something happened to Mike. So I knew it. You have that cliche. You have a bad feeling, like, oh shit, because he never. Certain people, it's fine if you can't make a show or let someone know, but like he never, like there's no way he would, not let me know that he was not going to make it to Sunday night geekery. So, that's we had some great times in 2024, and it's always good to remember those good times. But yeah, that's something I can't let the show go by. We mentioned Mike in the beginning, obviously, but to close it out, that's something that we can't. We're both always thinking about him, and of course, he's down from the New Orleans, Baton Rouge area, so. Of course, those people went through a horrific attack in New Orleans, so everyone's thinking of all those people down there. I couldn't help but think, that young football player, he wore number 7, my son wore, and I was just thinking, the horror of having a parent getting that phone call, or any loved one. And someone posted, well, why was he out drinking? Maybe he shouldn't have been out getting drunk. I'm like, what a despicable thing to say about someone who lost their life. Someone said that on social media about that young, football player that passed. And I was thinking, yeah, that could have been my kid, or any of our kids, or someone that we liked. So, and also another huge shout out to J-Man. He posted this publicly. So he said, he had our heart attack, and he had some problems after that, but he's healing on his own, and more tests. So shout out to our good friend J-Man, and hope he's on the mend and no more complications. And he's a great guy, and he did that show with Mike every Friday night. So God bless J-Man, and hope you're feeling better. So sorry about the well, no, I shouldn't be sorry, but I'm just gotta have to mention, the good and the bad, and the show wouldn't be complete without talking about Mike like that, and every time we're remembering that. And as we call it, we do one of our groups, we call it the shitty list, the people that passed away in the past year from our organization. We have like a charity group, and mention people that pass. So it's it sucks, but yeah, you want to give people, you want to remember people, and Mike was so important to so many of us that can't, it's got to be said. And of course, they have all the, at the Oscars, Academy Awards, they always mention year in review, and it's just something you hear about stage and screen stars and things like that, but it's when it's a good friend like that, even though we're on YouTube here, we all become friends. We have a great group of people who it's really special. I always appreciate everyone hanging out with us on Sunday night, and Mike was a big part of that. And so I'm glad that this show is still going. And thank you, Nick, for being here tonight, and everyone else who's on the show. But it's it's never not the same without him, but we're still gonna have fun here and have a great time and talk about things that we love. And I just appreciate all you guys out in the chat and being with us. And yeah, we keep the fun going. And Mike would want us to, but stop talking about me, damn it. Get on with it. I'm not that important. I can kind of hear him saying, in his voice. But I just wanted to say that as a closeout to 2024. And yeah, we all miss him. And yeah, he's here. Yep. So appreciate that. Yep. And yeah, and James Earl Jones. Yep, the voice of Darth Vader in many great films. So, but let's mosey on out of here. Nick Weiser again, and yeah. Thank you for being here. It was awesome. It was huge.
Yeah, it was. No, we made it really great. Outside of Steve hanging out with us for an hour, we really made the show happen between the two of us because we've done this 100 times already.
Right. So yeah, so we always make a good team. So thank you for being here. And
my pleasure.
Yeah, it's tough to go. It's tough to go solo. So glad we had you were able to make it tonight. And of course, you always have the open invite.
Thanks
but I
for
know work
having me.
schedules and things always don't work out. But yeah, it's great to have you on. And yeah,
we
make
made
a
up
pretty
for
good
lost
team.
time. We made up for
Yeah.
lost time tonight.
Yep. So that was awesome. And let me thank my channel members. So of course I want to thank the great Eric K, Andrew Derivative Jill, JT Kirk, Brian Hepburn, Dave C, Christian Delorme, Max Redstone, Jeffrey Midzel, RobAltis, RRT and Z, DJ Ronnie G, Shooter, Nick Weiser too. Yep, thank you, Nick Weiser, Stark of Iron, Admiral Teague, the Mandalorian, Dadman, 70s Rock Fan, Philip Story, Alaska Jeff, who just joined up. Thank you, Alaska Jeff, Wes Cagle, and Phantom Outsider. So thank you, all those channel members out there, and super appreciated and helping to keep the lights on here. Let me thank RRT and Z again for his super chat, and the Dead Man for their super chat. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate you guys helping out here. Pay for StreamYards and all that good stuff. So it helps. Every little bit helps because damn greedy corporations keep raising their prices, right? So Nick, I know we've got Toxic Tuesday coming up.
Training day.
Training day. Oh yeah, and Denzel just got the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yes, he did. So
one of the few deserving people on that list. People.
Yeah, no, without doubt. I don't care. Biden might be a absolute pile of garbage, but hey, Denzel Washington, and you know what? He doesn't go off flaunting his beliefs. If he's going to be accepting of that, he's going to take it. I don't like.
You got to take it. Yeah.
So
lion, dog face, pony soldier.
So I have no hard feelings with that. He makes
Michael J. Fox.
I can't remember if it was 2016 or 2012, and someone on a press interview is like, "Oh, so who are you voting for?" And he just said, "It's none of your business." You know what?
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. And for all you know, he may have voted for whomever was the Democrat at the time. But the fact that he just put that statement was very civil, and it shows you he's an actor, and even says that no, you don't have to like what we all have to say, but we need to learn how to talk to each other. He's right. That should be a universal talking point, right or left.
Yeah.
So I will get behind.
They're actors. Yeah, they're actors.
And
it doesn't mean you can't give your peace of mind, but just it's so overdone sometimes. Like Mark,
he's very mindful of how he gives his peace of mind.
Across.
That's the thing, unlike Mark Hamill.
Yeah, it's like you get sick of it too. Like even if you agreed with him, it's like, can you talk about Star Wars? Or maybe Star Wars is worse to talk about. I don't know.
Yeah, I get your point though. Yeah.
But yeah,
can you talk about being an entertainer again?
Yeah, like George Takei. I mean, used to love his Twitter, Facebook. I mean, it was just so much fun. He was so fun. It was fun. Everyone loved him. And it's like you're not a politician. I mean, not that you can't give your point of view. I'm never going to say you can't do that, but I used to love his stuff, or maybe if he did like 10% politics or 20%.
Oh,
And
I know. He made it his career.
His career, it's just like he flipped to that. It's like, Shatner's the other end. It's like, I don't do politics. Like, we don't, pretty much don't do politics here. Oh, and RobAltis, thank you so much for saying that. This is one of my favorite hangouts. That's just super nice to
Thanks
say.
for being here,
Great
Rob.
to hanging out with you. Yep. Yeah, so you want to have that balance. I'm never going to say you can't, but you turn people off too. So, but yeah, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But so you got Toxic Tuesday, and then any your usual shows during the week, of course.
Clobby's Comic Shop this week with D. Bud Martin talking classic Spidey. I'll be at Midnight's Edge After Dark. And I'll probably have a video out later this week as well.
Ooh, look forward to that. So let me put everyone here is sub to Nick. I know that I'm not psychic, but let me put your link in the chat here just in case or someone is or we got a lurker. We get new, once in a while you get new people popping in. Or lurkers.
No, seriously, it was fun hanging out with you. It was a long time to making that. Not only did I come back on the Geekery, but it was just mostly outside of our great friend Steve. Is you and I mano a mano, like killing the show.
Yep. So let me show a couple items I gotta do some videos on. So I just got look for a video on this, which you can't see because the cloaking does. So I got the Hallmark, and Hallmark ornaments are this one wasn't on sale, rat bastards. But a lot of the Hallmark ornaments are on sale for 50% off right now. So go check that out. And I got that. It's the the motion picture Enterprise. So that's going. I'm gonna take that and put on my tree now. And I got they had this for really cool Wonder Woman ornament. Maybe my camera's too bright. I might turn the camera down a little bit. You can see Wonder Woman better. But that's a fun. I could just hang that up on the wall too during the year. So that's they have a little string on the back, but so what? But fun little Hallmark ornament. So I got a ton of ornaments, but those are the ones that are nearby. But I also got the trash compactor Star Wars scene, and Hallmark is knocking out of the park. Talk about great.
I saw that one. That one.
So I got to do a review of that.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal. Trash
I saw that on Hallmark. I'm like, that's incredible.
Yeah, here's another one. I was showing this before, but C-3PO and R2 they guard your. You probably can't hear it because I have the. I got to turn the crisp off here. Let me turn that off. But then they talk, and there's a sensor. If you walk in front of it, yeah. So if they walk by, they'll talk, which is hysterical. Yep. And they keep going back and forth. So that's a fun Hallmark one too. But all right, well, let's say goodnight to. Hey, Masgrave is here. But Grace, we didn't do best albums. This year, but great choices. Yeah, great best of 24 choices. Job for a Cowboy top. Something I'm missing in the chat. Maybe
it's You just talk about a band called Job for a Cowboy. They put on an album called Moon Healer, which was good. It was really good actually. So I'm glad you enjoyed because I enjoyed it too. Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. Yeah, we didn't do music, but that's for another night. But let me thank Mass Gray for being here. Huge shout out to Courtney. She
someone just subbed to my channel. Whoever that was, thank you, whoever that was.
Yeah. And let's see. Let's say goodnight to Brian Hepburn, RobAltis, Phantom Outsider, Oliver Belmonte. Let's see who. Tetrarch of Apathy. The Stream Elements bot. Good night to Donnie, Tim. I said Phantom, and of course this was the game with Clobbering Times. I always see if you got everyone. TZ Burton was in the house. Thank you, TZ Burton. Lenrod, Lemon Pie was here. JT Kirk, of course. Maddie's Daddy's in the chat there. Brogu, hell to Brogu. Let's see, the Dead Man. Thank you, Dead Man, for being here, and thank you for your super chat. And also, Doctor Who. What's the channel? Doctor Who 40. Doctor Who. I can't forget the name of the channel now. My limited brain was here. Oh, Type 40 Doctor Who. Thank you for being here. And I can't wait to see that Klobby video. Professor R2 was here. Let's see who else was hanging out with us on this Sunday Night Geekery. We got Joe Dog. Joe Dog was in the house. Gap After Dark. D. Bud Martin was here. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Andy Masterson was in the house. Claude Salling. And Nick Weiser with a huge there. So I think we got everyone. If we missed anyone, it's because I'm an idiot and don't have a good memory. But thank you everyone for hanging out with us on this night. Great way to wrap up 2024. We'll see you next on Toxic Tuesday, and hopefully during the week. So everyone have a great rest of the week and have a great 2025. I'm always gonna, you don't write as much now, so you don't have to write 2025. Remember when the year would switch and you'd be like, "Oh, damn it, I got to remember to write."
Oh, I've already messed that up a few times. Already have.
Right, 2025. So yeah, make sure you eat a lot of macaroni and cheese because Tilly doesn't like it. So eat more.
That was disturbingly not delicious.
We got to play a couple of good clips here on the way out. So
it's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose.
No bloody A, B, C, or D.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Bueller.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit. Thank you.
Get those nerds! 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 What?
Nerds.
All right, nerds. Everyone always asks for nerds, so everyone. So we can end it there. I think that's. Oh, and here we go. Last one for this recap.
Superman.
There we go. So everyone take care, and thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you soon.
Fun storming the castle.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.